The Cloud Dream Fan, the magic weapon that originally belonged to Li Taisui. After undergoing Tang Lianxin's refinement, it was already no longer the same. Starlights that filled the sky fell down, even beautifully. Xiyu brandished the fan, waving it. Immediately, thunder filled the area, as if millions upon millions of thunder dragons were dancing wildly. Humi had once seen this Cloud Dream Fan, and she was aware that it was the magic weapon that Li Taisui was once so proud of. She did not dare underestimate it. The supreme ultimate diagram in her hand shook, and a golden bridge flew out from the picture that presumably would not be defeated before Xiyu. Then when the dual mode's ruler, its green lights, and its ruler images attacked, golden light glittered around Humi, gathering into a supreme ultimate pattern. This supreme ultimate diagram wrapped up the green light, completely absorbing the dual mode's ruler. Following Humi's toss, it instead attacked Xiyu. This supreme ultimate diagram was the nemesis of all magic weapons in the world. It was practically impeccable. Xiyu was well aware of its might. In this battle against the fox of voracious admiration, her heart was already prepared. Her divine intent moved, and 10,000 thunder dragons surged together, overturning the heavens. The dual mode's ruler was also formidable, destroying a majority of the soaring thunder dragons. Humi stepped onto the golden bridge and charged towards Xiyu. Xiyu then raised another magic weapon. A sky-blue bracelet suddenly expanded. This bracelet was shaped like a hungry wolf devouring the moon. That moon was a shiny stone. Humi could see that was a stone from Star World. This is bad. Humi stopped her steps, beckoning with her hand. A purple chain of pearls flew out, releasing rays of auspicious light, its brilliance interweaving like a giant net. It suddenly plunged down. Just at this moment, Xiyu's bracelet released a ray of green light that condensed into a gigantic wolf. It opened its maw that could devour the sun, and barreled towards Humi. This beast was the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. Originally obtained back at the Crystal Dragon Palace's treasure banquet auction, it was then strengthened by Tang Lianxin finally into the current 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram could counter myriad weapons, but the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf was an immemorial demon beast, outside of magic weapons. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram naturally was unable to hinder it, otherwise, Wu Xinjie would never have hastily purchased it back then. However, the Supreme Ultimate Diagram was the #1 prehistoric magic weapon after all. Although it could not turn the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf for its own use, the Supreme Ultimate Golden Bridge obstructed the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf, not allowing it to draw near. Humi then raised the magic cloud chain. The chain became a net of clouds and light that constricted the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. Xiyu then swept the Cloud Dream Fan, once again unleashing thunder that shook the 4 territories. Humi was astonished at Xiyu's aggression. She was far stronger than the girl she was back then. All in all, Xiyu had once stayed in the Black Turtle Territory's devil cults. Her mind was an unyielding, biting cold. She previously allowed Humi to humiliate her twice, so she acted without mercy. To not be able to avenge my defeats, how can I have the qualifications to be Sir's wife? Thinking of this, Xiyu's heart became even more chilly. Humi once again shook the Supreme Ultimate Diagram. Countless golden lights fell, linking to the golden bridge in all directions, destroying all of the thunder. The dual mode's ruler gathered even stronger ruler lights that attacked Xiyu. If it was not for the light of the Cloud Dream Fan's Cloud Dream Realm protecting her, Xiyu would have already been defeated. But Humi was not having an easy time either. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram was rapidly draining her magic energy. Extended usage was already making Humi somewhat fatigued. She was also maintaining several types of magic weapons. She was already a bit exhausted both physically and mentally. She thought rapidly, brainstorming a plan for decisive victory. The two women fought several dozen bouts, their killing intent rocketing into the sky, a frightening sight. Just as Humi was urging on the Supreme Ultimate Diagram with all her power, breaking open Xiyu, at this moment, the sky shook. She glanced over. Crimson stars fell one after another around Maiden Mountain, like a meteor shower. This abnormality shook Humi's heart. This minor distraction nevertheless exposed a large opening. Xiyu bit open her finger. Blood splashed like the canopy of an umbrella. Xiu dashed towards Humi. Through that canopy of blood, the dark red blood all of a sudden burst into flames, surging in an instant. In a blood-soaked rebirth, she descended upon the golden bridge, attacking Humi. The clinging heaven vermilion Jian's true spirit was released around Xiu. The water illusion fairy's powers already reached their peak. In her distraction, Humi allowed Xiu to seize her. By the time she came to her senses, the ancient clinging fire was already swinging down like a blade. Oh no! Humi's heart sank, and the clinging fire hacked into her body. While the monster-slaying alliance confronted Su Xing, the strongest of the 5 Tigers generals Huyan Shuang, and the one above the star duels, Scholar in a white robe Wang Luan were together. Huyan Shuang's was a 6-star destined weapon, ranking among the top 3 in martial force this generation. Wang Luan was once in the double sevens, her realm extraordinary. She could be considered the uncrowned overlord of Maiden Mountain. Their opponent was naturally Yingmei, the 6-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear. With the formidable battle doctrine innate skill, it could be said that the Panther Head was the strongest across the 9 generations. Even Huyan Shuang was not her opponent. Wang Lingji threw out the double sevens clinging phoenix staff. This merely 3-star destined weapon could be said to be her greatest disadvantage. Yingmei attacked without mercy. There was immediately a crystalline sound as spear shadows filled the air. The two of them fought evenly for several dozen bouts. Yingmei coldly said, "Young master is only ending the mutual slaughter of our Maiden Mountain sisters. Why do you obstruct him?" "Humph. Panther Head, you have been confused by him. How can one man end this?" Wang Lingji sneered. She held the staff in one hand, unleashing a white rainbow all in one breath, her high love deep hatred technique. Yingmei intercepted the staff and spun her body. Her spear's light flashed, quickly attacking. When Wang Lingji saw the high love deep hatred had no effect, she was secretly shocked, sliding backwards continuously. The double sevens clinging phoenix staff assumed an expanded form, descending. The spear tip then stabbed. There was the sound of a crisp, ice-cold collision. The two of them slammed together. Within several breaths, the two of them had already exchanged 100 blows. Yingmei's realm was far beyond Wang Lingji's imagination, her intense attacks unending. Wang Lingji was gradually falling behind. She spun around, moving like a spiral, her staff shadows washing away Yingmei's assault. Then her staff moved left and right, 2 rays of killing intent flying out. Just like 2 enormous palms clapping together, this left Yingmei with no place to run. This was none other than dark rank 2 character Heartweight. Yingmei remained composed, her 6-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear's spearchi forceful, but a single swipe broke the dark rank. Spearlight flowed, unleashing a chill. Wang Lingji was no match, her shoulders sustaining the blow, causing blood to directly spurt forth. But it was a pity that she did not comprehend heaven rank in the short time she had since leaving the double sevens. Otherwise, Wang Lingji truly wished to use it right now. What a Panther Head! If you do not die, how can your Maiden Mountain sisters possibly end the star duels? Wang Lingji grimaced, retreating continuously. What a deathbed struggle, what pompous-sounding words. Yingmei said disdainfully, gripping her spear in one hand and sweeping over. Wang Lingji rolled to the side, her wonderful figure appearing very sorry. Infuriating me to death. Scholar in a white robe believed herself to be an uncrowned overlord. To surprisingly be upstaged by the Panther Head, her heart was extremely enraged. She roared. A white rainbow coiled around, using her innate skill spry movements. That white rainbow essence chi wrapped around Wang Lingji's entire body. Following the movements of Scholar in a white robe, she surprisingly left afterimages. These afterimages were unlike those of the Star General's 10,000 Techniques realm, rather, they were like substantive killing intent. This spry movement innate skill was a bit similar to Hunyangzi's light smoke dance steps. Both were body techniques, but it was even more swift. The difference was that spry movements allowed Wang Lingji's afterimages to be lifelike. At the same time it advanced her body techniques, her afterimages would also attack with her. One strike would be like another dozen Wang Lingji's attacking as well. But using this innate skill was very taxing on her star energy. Her realm would also subsequently decrease. Unless as an absolute last resort, Wang Lingji did not want to use it. Lin Yingmei was aggressive, the Arctic Star Serpent Spear easily cutting down Wang Lingji's innate skill. Wang Lingji used her dark technique. This time, the two-character heart weight became more than a dozen. Killing intent advanced, detonating upon Lin Yingmei. Wang Lingji raised her staff, swinging it down at Lin Yingmei's cranium. Lin Yingmei caught the dark technique. Her spear swiftly stabbed towards the sky. Several spry movement afterimages dazzled the eyes, but Lin Yingmei stabbed an afterimage. The double sevens clinging phoenix staff brought rolling thunder as it attacked. Lin Yingmei evaded but only barely. The double sevens clinging phoenix staff smashed into the panther head's shoulder. Even with her shoulder blade shattered, Lin Yingmei did not wince. Instead, a sneer blossomed on the corner of her lips. The spear in her hand spun, unleashing layers of ice and frost. Wang Lingji once again used spry movements. Several afterimages circled around behind Lin Yingmei. Lin Yingmei stuck the spear into the ground, leaping backwards, her figure gracefully arriving behind Wang Lingji. When her spear was extracted, billowing killing intent rushed out. Wang Lingji felt her back turn cold, as if her whole body had been frozen. Naturally, she knew this was freezing frost of 9 provinces. Suddenly sensing danger, she no longer hesitated, finally using her earth rank. Staff shadows filled the sky, becoming countless white phoenixes. Their powerful might pierced through the U-planes. A white pillar that penetrated the heavens entered the 9 firmaments, and the surrounding innumerable white phoenixes fluttered to and fro, an incomparably spectacular sight. When her earth rank was executed, Wang Lingji's spry movements finally waned. The woman retreated continuously, her whole body covered in cuts and bruises. Looking carefully, Lin Yingmei surprisingly was not very hurt. How can this be? Wang Lingji's expression was unsightly. Her earth rank surprisingly was unable to actually produce any injuries. Could this panther head be true Phoenix 7th stage or higher? Just as Wang Lingji was depressed, suddenly, the skies displayed a great change. Star after crimson star fell in the direction of Maiden Mountain. Wang Lingji knew from a glance those crimson stars belonged to Qingci's faction. Her face lost color upon seeing the starfalls. Lin Yingmei was also startled by this crimson star phenomenon. Both were acutely aware that something major was happening at Maiden Mountain. Lin Yingmei shouted, abruptly stabbing with her spear. A phoenix unrivaled. Wang Lingji felt unable to budge. Against such formidable arrogance, the scholar in a white robe raised the double sevens clinging phoenix staff with difficulty to put up a final struggle. Spear light twinkled before her eyes. Wang Lingji was too late to receive the strike. Hearing a blizzard in her ears, a spear light already broke through her staff, sticking directly into her chest. The killing intent upon the spear twisted inside Wang Lingji's body. The scholar in a white robe spat blood. She stuck the double sevens clinging phoenix staff into the ground, barely propping herself up. Lin Yingmei approached from the front. Wang Lingji could even sense the frosty presence emanating from the young woman's body. Those eyes appearing particularly cold and detached. How utterly ridiculous, that your servant would unexpectedly die at the hands of an insignificant true spirit. Wang Lingji wretchedly smiled. Your servant will definitely follow young master to end the star duels. Lin Yingmei looked at Maiden Mountain's glaring starfalls. Tears flowed from Wang Lingji's eyes, her heart breaking at the sight of the crimson stars. She smiled as she cried, "It's over, it's all over. You all will forever become puppets that slaughter one another. Your servant will definitely stop these star duels." Lin Yingmei grit her teeth. Wang Lingji laughed. She finally turned to dust, scattering away. Liked it. True spirit. When Lin Yingmei heard Wang Lingji's words, she was briefly distracted, but now was not the time to dwell on this. Lin Yingmei looked at those unprecedented consecutive starfalls. She raised the 7-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear, flying towards Su Xing. Meanwhile, Zhenyuan finally played his hidden trump card, secure star young Luoshui, attempting to use his star general to take Su Xing's head while he was caught off guard. This plan could be considered flawless. The 4-star secure star young Luoshui already raised her realm to True Phoenix. After refining her heavenly book, she had reached True Phoenix 3rd stage. If this high realm was released in any other star duel, not a single Star Master would dare face her directly. The result would have been inevitable death. But he never imagined nor even planned for Su Xing's innate combat capabilities. Although it was mostly due to Lin Chang's battle doctrine that Su Xing possessed superb martial arts, to be able to directly face true Phoenix realm on equal terms still left Zhenyuan in utter disbelief. The 9th star duels were unprecedented. Having faced 7 previous overlords, especially the 7th Hu Ban's Huang, Su Xing's martial arts had already reached an inconceivable level. Originally, even Hu Ban's Wang was unable to kill Su Xing. Such a thing was even more impossible for young Luoshui. You are surprisingly able to block this. Young Luoshui felt as if she had been humiliated. Her cheeks turned a complete crimson. She raised that enormous guillotine. Luoshui does not believe you can still stop an earth rank. Although the dark yellow blood could help comprehend heaven rank, it was very difficult to stimulate such a thing in a battle like this against a Star Master. Even if it was stimulated, that would be another kind of humiliation. Young Luoshui was determined to seize victory using her earth rank. However, even thinking that an earth rank could kill Su Xing was an idiot's dream. The 60 immemorial flying swords formed a sword array around Su Xing. The 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth released multicolored intertwining lights, crisscrossing each other. Purple Cloud East Approaches was released from Su Xing's finger, and the meditative mind lotus flower immediately blossomed in the air. Golden lotuses and their scent filled the cosmos. The Frost Magnificent's shining moon blade shattered most of these, but it was still unable to pierce through Su Xing's chest, to execute him. This abnormal bastard. Young Luoshui grit her teeth. Zhenyuan saw the situation was deteriorating. Wuxia and the others were now each defeating star generals, coming to Su Xing's aid. By the time these 1,000-year star generals alleviated the situation, everyone else would be dead without burial. An arrow flew over. Zhenyuan used the 3 Clarities banner to intercept it, shouting, "All fellows, help me form an array. We cannot give the purple thunder monster a chance to catch his breath." Quickly, Yin Wudao's face turned cold. He felt his head ache in pain. Zhang Biluo had fallen into the star nest, and his heart became extremely furious. The others quickly activated magic weapons and abilities to hinder Wuxia and the rest. Zhenyuan chanted, taking out the universe vast and desolate banner. He shook the banner, and the heaven-earth dark yellow flying swords flashed green, black, white and red lights. The treasure swords faded and spun in the air, unraveling around Su Xing along the cardinal directions. "Luoshui, do not let him escape." Zhenyuan's voice came through. Immediately, young Luoshui understood tacitly. She raised her blade to hold back Su Xing. Then, her forehead's star crest flickered, and that woman's eyes glowed. Her blade was right before his eyes. Su Xing's heart sank. Suddenly, he felt a kind of powerful pressure trap him like a cage on the spot. His entire body was surprisingly unable to budge. Young Luoshui's innate skill Heavenly Prison normally could produce pressure that slowed the target's movements, but this was not her full ability. After young Luoshui completely unleashed Heavenly Prison, she could fully trap the target in her sight, but she herself would also similarly be unable to move. Using it in coordination with a Star Master was nevertheless a very wonderful move. Zhenyuan shook the universe vast and desolate banner, raising a foul wind. At the same time, a gloomy mist rose. The heaven-earth dark yellow swords released an ancient might. A heaven-earth dark yellow ancient sword array unfolded around Su Xing, with the center already so dark that Su Xing could not see his hand in front of his face. Light was unable to illuminate in the slightest. Killing intent bounded in the array's center. Gloomy wind howled. Su Xing was attacked by the cold breeze, chilling his whole body. Knowing this was bad, he hastily activated the meditative mind lotus flower and purple cloud east approaches, but having been trapped by the heavenly prison, activation of his powers was very inhibited. "You want to take me down with you?" Su Xing stared at young Luoshui, flabbergasted. The universe vast and desolate clearly formed its own world, isolating her from the star nest. If young Luoshui was killed by the sword array, she naturally would not return to the star nest. Instead, her true spirit would vanish. It could be said to be a complete destruction of the body and soul. This was why Su Xing felt disbelief. The young woman beamed widely, showing pure white teeth. So long as this can kill you, what harm is there in sacrificing Luoshui? I never imagined. I actually thought Zhenyuan sincerely wanted to protect his star generals. Su Xing was very disappointed. Young Luoshui shouted. Ridiculous. As long as he can kill you, Purple Thunder Monster, then Zhenyuan will naturally have protected us. Her words were logical, and Su Xing could not refute her. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array was an ancient killing array. Su Xing did not dare underestimate it. While his divine intent moved, 12 jade pearl banners flew out. These banners had been refined by Zhenyuan, formed from gathering and developing the quintessence of heaven, earth, and the stars. Although it could not compare to the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Swords, it was still a powerful magic weapon for defense. Die! Zhenyuan shouted. White thunder bursting forth, venting the fury he held towards the star duels. Zhenyuan shook the universe vast and desolate banner, shaking the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Four Swords. Then four golden lights shot towards young Luoshui and Su Xing at the center of the array. This Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow ancient killing array did not differentiate between friend or foe. Those caught inside it were doomed. Su Xing felt an enormous pressure leap into his face, stifling him, inhibiting his breathing. His mind felt incomparably heavy, as if he was being squashed by Mount Tai. Golden serpents danced in the array, wind howled, the world undulated, thunder crashed intensely, shaking mountains and rivers. The four treasure swords each fired a ray of light straight towards Su Xing. It was as if all power in Liangshan continent, all power in the universe, was gathering at the center of this array. The 12 banners lasted for mere moments before being shredded by the first sword light. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array, like its name suggested, attacked 4 times, once for each of the heaven, earth, dark, and yellow, beginning with yellow and ending with heaven. Each attack was more than 100 times stronger than the last. The first sword light completely disintegrated the 12 banners, and the second sword light fired without hesitation right after the first. Lord Husband. When Wuxia saw that Su Xing had been trapped by the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array, her heart panicked. She wished she could cut Zhenyuan down. When the others saw that the Purple Thunder Monster had finally been trapped in the immemorial killing array after so much difficulty, they would not allow him to escape. Yan Wudao activated the 9 Palaces lantern. The lantern hovered above, releasing thousands of rays of light that illuminated the world, stopping Wuxia's killing intent. Die. Wuxia slashed with her swords, attacking with blood-splashing Mandarin Duck. Then, the Pilgrim's true Phoenix realm was fully unleashed, the noble frost demonic lotus directly breaking the 9 Palaces lantern. Yan Wudao's expression changed as he was cut down to the ground by Wuxia, as if he was on the brink of death. Man Emperor Dragon Slaying Sword. Gong Song activated his last magic weapon, being shot through by Hua Wanyue's arrow. Xie Chang'an used the 6 Patriarchs' Sarira protection. Lady Snake Scorpion relied on the rock feather clothes, using her goo poison arts to hinder Su Xing's star generals. Against top-notch martial generals, they were completely unable to stall them for too long without star generals, but the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array only needed a few seconds. They were gambling on Su Xing's death. The second sword Dark then attacked. Su Xing's Purple Cloud East approaches was entirely destroyed by the sword's light. If it was not for Su Xing using the meditative mind lotus flower, and his practically divine corporeal body, he would have been heavily injured by this killing intent. I truly admire you. Su Xing stared at young Luoshui. Young Luoshui fared no better. She relied on her true Phoenix realm and Zhenyuan to merely aim killing intent at Su Xing. So what she received was nowhere near as intense as what Su Xing faced. Even so, the girl's skin was already streaked with blood and bruises. Young Luoshui only sneered. Perhaps it was because she was receiving this Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array's powerful killing intent. It made the secure star's dark yellow blood boil at the same time. Amidst this deathbed struggle, young Luoshui vaguely felt her heaven rank reveal itself in her mind. What a pity I did not have a chance to use it. Young Luoshui thought to herself. Imperial sister, do you see now? This is the end of the purple thunder monster. He has Lin Chong and Wu Song, but so what? In the end he is still on the road to ruin. With him dead, the others are funerary sacrifices. After all is said and done, I Zhao Heng had better eyesight than you Zhao Hanyan. I can scale Maiden Mountain at the end. Since you love him so much, this highness shall oblige you next. Zhao Heng saw that Su Xing was trapped, and let out howling laughter. Land of the King's yellow sands stirred and followed like shadows. Dong Junqing had killed Sua Qingshuang, but trapped by the land of the king, aggravation filled her heart. Hearing him directly call out the Lingyan princess name, she was even more infuriated, wanting to use her earth rank to might as well kill this prince. To think that the heaven-earth dark yellow sword array can kill Su Xing. You all really have severely underestimated him. Zhao Hanyan was unfazed, coldly glaring at him. She pointed her hand, calling forth servants of the king. 12 giant bronze statues of indomitable spirit and massive power appeared. Zhao Heng smiled promptly froze shit. That stupid imperial father would surprisingly aid the enemy. Zhao Heng screamed. Land of the King's wind rolled towards the 12 bronze statues. Just at this moment, crimson stars fell one after another in the direction of Maiden Mountain. Zhao Hanyan saw that this was bad and used the 12 golems to block Land of the King. Instantly she arrived in front of Zhao Heng. Zhao Hanyan's cultivation was too far above Zhao Heng's. If it was not for her mercy, Zhao Heng would have already suffered miserable defeat. You need to be taught a lesson. The Lingyan princess glared coldly at him, using true immortal finger. Zhao Heng's chest hurt. He suddenly screamed and collapsed on the ground. The yellow sand receded. Without even sparing him another glance, Zhao Hanyan flew in Su Xing's direction. With something major happening at Maiden Mountain, there was already no longer any time to dilly-dally. When the third Earth Sword Light attacked, Su Xing's 60 immemorial flying swords suffered a blow to their spiritual power. Their defenses smashed. Activating the Earth Book's defense, it was powerless to defend and was nearly destroyed. As he saw this, Su Xing pondered whether or not to activate the last thing he had, the 5 Dragons Lantern. But this 5 Dragons Lantern was to be used against Song Qingci, or Fong La's faction at the end. I really can't underestimate this Zhenyuan. Su Xing grit his teeth. He never thought that the sole trouble the monster-slaying alliance brought him was unexpectedly this former #1 star master of the Azure Dragon territory that was overlooked. Young Luoshui could last no longer. The heavenly prison crumbled under the earth-killing array. The girl was already on the verge of collapse, unable to ward off the imminent strongest heaven-killing intent. Su Xing drastically lowered his hostility towards her. Speaking from another perspective, to be able to willingly sacrifice herself for her contractor, young Luoshui was an opponent worthy of respect and admiration. Zhenyuan's heart filled with an indescribable pleasure. He smiled malevolently, and even the Ho Ruolin in his embrace was somewhat fearful. Meanwhile, Lady Snake Scorpion Xiediao was killed into the star nest. The other star masters who were intercepting also fell one after another, powerless to continue. Zhenyuan completely did not care. The final heaven kill took form. Die. The anger that he had repressed for a dozen years poured out at this moment. All of his magic energy completely gathered into this heaven kill. Just at this moment, Su Xing abruptly saw a golden bridge form inside the universe's vast and desolate's killing array. Multicolored lights flashed, illuminating the world. Then he heard Humi's voice. Get on! Damn you! When Zhenyuan saw the supreme ultimate diagram, his expression changed. Caring no longer, he promptly used the heaven kill array. The heaven-earth dark yellow four-sword shook, and a tidal wave of sword light gushed over. Luoshui seize him now. Zhenyuan shouted. Young Luoshui was already powerless. She could only grit her teeth, tighten her grip on her guillotine, and prepare to unleash all her power the moment Su Xing turned his back to her to board the bridge. But just at this moment, she suddenly felt something tug her hand. Young Luoshui's tense heartstrings were stunned. Her line of sight cleared, spotting Su Xing. Su Xing's expression was grave as he pulled young Luoshui onto the supreme ultimate golden bridge. The terrifying heaven kill array subsequently followed. Everything in the center of the array was completely destroyed. Young Luoshui was struck dumb, feeling disbelief at what had happened before her eyes. She had surprisingly been rescued by this man. There've already been enough starfalls. I admire you. Climb the mountain with us. Let's end the star duels together. Su Xing could not bear the girl's destruction, finally pulling the girl along. Young Luoshui was unable to say anything else. The pitiless secure star loathed compassion, her heart like stone, but in that moment she heard Su Xing's words. In that moment she was pulled onto the golden bridge by Su Xing. Her heart shuddered like never before. Even when she originally signed a contract with Zhenyuan, she never had such a sensation. Damn you! Young Luoshui powerlessly said in her mind. The monster-slaying alliance. Its defeat was already certain. Liked it. Who me, you traitor, you bitch, Zhenyuan hurled curses. He completely lost the bearing of an elegant gentleman that he had from before, but he could not be blamed for this. He had planned so meticulously. Originally, he had planned to sacrifice Secure Star Sikuan Su Young Luoshui, using the Heaven Earth Dark Yellow to kill the Purple Thunder monster after the others injured him. By doing so, he would obtain the star energy of the Purple Thunder monster's dozen star generals. He had absolute confidence he would become the sole overlord. But when the time came, his meticulous plan had failed at the last moment. Bitch, Zhenyuan itched to cut Humi to pieces. It turned out this woman had been seduced by the Purple Thunder monster in the end. He saw that Wu Song and Yingmei had just about finished defeating everyone else. Zhenyuan knew that he had lost the advantage. Defeat was already certain, and there was no way to turn things around. Luoshui, return. Zhenyuan shouted, recalling the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow swords. He used his last bit of magic energy to shake the Three Clarities banner. 3 wisps of clear chi shot out and released 3 doppelgangers that fled towards Maiden Mountain. Yingmei and Wuxia killed 2 of them. Nevertheless, one managed to escape. You should not have saved me. Young Luoshui resentfully rebuked Su Xing, entering Zhenyuan's star nest at the same time. The remaining star masters were not so fortunate as Zhenyuan. They faced the most direct fury of Yingmei and Wuxia. Yi Futu raised the 7 feathers fan. 7 immemorial clinging fires flew out, transforming into Luan birds, phoenixes, vermilion birds, and other divine beasts. But Yi Futu had spent too much energy. The divine beasts appeared extremely frail. At this moment, this prehistoric spirit treasure had already lost its might. Gong Kaiwei summoned the black crystal ice Qilin. Its icy breath completely blocked the 7 feathers fan's flames. Yi Futu promptly retreated but Zhu Sha's eyes had been watching for this step back. He landed perfectly into the divine strategist's trap. The woman was gracefully indifferent, the 5 elements weather banner unfurling around her. Yi Futu was overwhelmed with shock, but at the moment, he had lost Hao Bingxin. He had no chance at all of victory. Among them, Xian Lao was counted as the strongest. Seeing that the monster-slaying alliance was broken, she was not reluctant to leave. At the first moment she could, she hurried in the direction of the starfalls, not caring about the others anymore. Yi Futu, Yan Wudao, Gong Song, Lady Snake Scorpion, and the others saw that the situation was beyond hopeless and were immediately in incomparable despair. Just at this moment, Su Xingxiang used the peacock dream weaving fan, rolling it out. Multicolored lights emerged from this fan. Crimson, white, black, yellow, and green lights surrounded Yi Futu and the others. Their divine lights were like feathers, immediately making Wuxia and the rest's attacks amount to nothing. Everyone was quite surprised to see Su Xingxiang had intervened. The girl was currently strenuously enduring, not abandoning them. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Just as he was about to move out, crimson stars fell one after another along the horizon, like a meteor shower. Upon seeing this abnormality, Su Xing knew that something had drastically changed on Song Qingci's end. He no longer had any mind to pay to the battle with these star masters. Quickly go on then. Something major is happening over there. The golden bridge vanished. Humi's complexion was pale. Consecutively using the Supreme Ultimate Diagram twice has depleted her magic energy. Su Ning had also been heavily injured against Lu Shaking as well as wasted much of her vitality. Right, drink this. Perhaps it will be of help. Umi took out a golden cup. It was filled with a red liquid, iridescent as blood, wafting the scent of alcohol. Climb the mountain together with me, Su Xing said. He took this cup of dark yellow blood, drinking it all. When you finish things over there, Umi will naturally follow you. Umi smiled and said, You be careful. Su Xing nodded. He glanced at these people. Because he worried about Song Qingci, he made no more plans for them. His escape technique activated, moving swiftly towards Maiden Mountain. Su Xing's body techniques were swift, his heart like water. Qingci, please be safe. Recalling this graceful and poetic woman, Su Xing inwardly tightened his fist. Zhao Hanyan Gong Kaiwei and Shiyu followed close behind. Sisters, we must quickly go as well. Wu Xinjie was very worried. Everyone's escape techniques were like a rainbow, and they vanished from the Yu Plains in the blink of an eye. The originally bustling Yu Plains battlefield immediately calmed down. Your Highness. Huyan Shuang landed, coming to Xie Chang'an's side. Shuang, are you all right? Xie Chang'an asked. I fought to my heart's content. Ha ha, the purple thunder monster's wives are truly incredible. Huyan Shuang laughed. Her opponent was Hunyangzi, a peerlessly talented and stunning woman of unique beauty. Although Huyan Shuang had a 6-star destined weapon, Hunyangzi had a 7-star. The two of them were evenly matched. If it was not for the shower of crimson stars, the two of them were even prepared to use their heaven ranks to decide the victor. Your Highness, let us go look over there. Huyan Shuang showed extreme interest. Xie Chang'an nodded. The two of them rushed towards Maiden Mountain. This purple thunder monster surprisingly let us go. This is too unbelievable. Gong Song said weakly. He must be plotting something again. Lady Snake Scorpion saw her dying husband, and was torn with anxiety, but she was contained by the multicolored divine light, and unable to break free. Su Shengxiang, many thanks for saving us. Yan Wudao cupped his fist. He had nearly been slashed to death by Wu Xiyo's sword. At the moment he was very weak. If it was not for Su Shengxiang using the peacock dream-weaving fan to protect him, he would have already died on the spot. Many thanks. The others also humbly expressed their gratitude. Su Shengxiang wore a faint smile. She held a black parasol, walking barefoot on the desert, creating a ripple as if on water. Under the umbrella of her charm, her smile was alluring. Suddenly, Yan Wudao sensed something was off. He looked at that black umbrella. Save you? Ah ha ha ha. In the end, the 7 stars assembly only needs 7 people. Su Xing, Zhao Hanyan, Shiyu Gong Kaiwei. There is just enough room for Xingxiang's position. Su Xingxiang's voice was very, very soft. The others' expressions changed. They had only thought of killing Su Xing to wrest his enormous star energy to become Overlord. But Su Xingxiang nevertheless thought of the 7 stars assembly's quota to ascend the mountain. Killing Su Xing actually would have been fine too, but if they were unable to kill him, she only needed to turn herself into one of the final 7 to still emerge as a victor. Zhao Hanyan and the others are climbing the mountain. Presumably, that Su Xing will not kill them, Shengxiang still wins. Run away. Umi screamed. Su Shengxiang spun the parasol, a smile still hanging upon her lips. The 10,000 souls parasol's specters poured into the world, suddenly plunging it into darkness and flooding it with ghostly howls. The purple thunder monster is not one bit like a monster. It would be better to let Xingxiang be this villain. True despair followed. Maiden Mountain outside Seven Worthies Forest. Fan Mojia was currently quietly leaning against a stalk of bamboo, peacefully asleep. The world surrounding her seemed to be in the purest tranquility. There was no killing intent, no stench of blood. Occasionally, the girl would hesitantly open her dark blue eyes to stare sleepily at the birds in front of her, sinking into deep contemplation. Just outside the forest, 100 steps away, killing intent surged, the stench of blood soaked the earth, and a mellow flute melody seemed to be weeping. Feng Er Shuer. Song Qingci did not dare believe the reality unfolding before her eyes. 8-star little Marquis of Wen Lufeng, and help star comparable to Rengue Guishui stared wide-eyed, as if they had not come to their senses, but looking closely, their bodies were already run through by arrows. They were then struck down by star magic. Without any chance at all to fight back, the two girls immediately star fell. Oh! Horn Star Single Horn Dragon Zoku and Li Shuangfei madly rushed out to avenge their sisters. The 7-star Fong of Broken Skies was incomparably tyrannical, but against the buxom Buddhist woman, she was still powerless to fight back. Horn Star and Walking Star followed suit with their starfalls. Big sister, run away! Sick Yuchi Sun Yueying knew from a glance the 4 people in front of them were extremely formidable. She immediately shouted. Sun Yueying was not escaping at all, rather, she gripped her 1,000 snowpiles and 10,000 clouds to use her earth rank instant flourish and decay past hand. Sword Star Taisui, who stands his ground, Ruanjiner summoned 10,000 flying swords, throwing out her azure sea green duckweed, similarly using earth rank Shoei in a flash. Tears spilled down Beast Star Huangfuyuyun's cheeks. She played her 7-star 10,000 beast hibernating flute. Powerful star beasts were summoned by her, dying in a steady stream on the battlefield. 5 Tigers General Qin Mingyue straddled her Thunder Beast Rosy Cloud, using her Thunderclap intimidation. The enormous Wolf-Tooth Fire Beacon mace carried the force of Heaven Fall Earthrend. The Xianliang Shuda generals sneered. They had waited for Song Jiang for so long. They acted without any mercy, facing their fury with indifference. Pang Shu drew her bow, firing off stars that filled the skies. Bao Nyang'er's fingers opened, and countless white spirits shot out from her fingertips, whirling around endlessly. Deng Wuda chanted. With each strike of her Chan staff, the shackles on her arm clattered. Watch this. Eat Mingyue's mace. Heaven Fall Earthrend. Roar. 5 Tigers General Qin Mingyue's wild dance brandished the giant mace. The lowly appeared very frail, but her attacks were very tyrannical. Her realm was already true phoenix, her power incomparably strong. Each time she smashed the ground, there was an enormous earthquake, rustling the entire bamboo forest. Against the savage lowly's violent attacks, Pang Shu was outdone. Her archery was completely unable to suppress her. Little sister, watch this. Qin Mingyue's Thunder Beast was killed. The little lowly shouted as she raised the mace to smash Pang Shu. Her powerful thunderclap intimidation made Pang Shu's heart shudder. Who is your little sister? Pang Shu cursed, hastily pulling back, but the powerful flames and astral wind it created still scratched her face painfully. You are too noisy. You will disturb Her Highness' rest. A lofty voice suddenly rang beside Qin Mingyue. The lowly was astonished to see that a woman had strangely appeared. Her figure was graceful, though her expression was cold. Qin Mingyue shouted, raising the mace to pound her into a meat cake. Xian drew her sword and slashed. Bloodlight passed over Qin Mingyue's body. Qin Mingyue's movements instantly stiffened. Xian ignored her and proceeded to walk onwards. Her target was only Song Qingci. Little sister, do not run. Qin Mingyue grit her teeth, spinning around to stop Xian. The girl had walked only a few steps when she suddenly felt strange. The world had gone quiet. She looked at Sun Yueying and the others fighting, but the sound was growing further and further away. What happened? I am not done swinging my mace yet. Qin Mingyue raised her hand, only to discover her hand had already disappeared. Big sister, what is happening? Why are you so sad? She looked at Song Qingci, teasing her. Then her big sister's face grew further away. Her voice, breath, and even her memories became nothingness. Elder sister. Qin Mingyue left behind a groggy call, her figure vanishing. Fiery thunderbolt, starfall. Sister Qingci, run away now. Go find Chao Gai or that man. Sick Tiger Shuemingxi was currently putting all her strength into the good and evil karma banner, guarding in front of Song Qingci with a funeral rite of souls. The scenes that appeared before them made the Shuemingxi, who had witnessed countless sorrowful partings, once again feel a heavy heart. I truly loathe this kind of feeling. Shuemingxi said. Then she saw inferior star living goddess of lightning Wang Jingji die to Pang Shu's arrows. Her teleportation was unable to escape those watchful arrows, and Xian Yunshang's string of arrows and Ding Wanjing's arrow force under heaven were no match. I truly loathe this feeling of parting. Shuemingxi mumbled, glancing at Ding Wanjing, carrying endless longing. Her white banner unfurled, and Xuemingxi listened carefully. The world instantly turned silent. All of Liangshan continent's feelings of life and death partings seemed to concentrate under her good and evil karma banner. Rays of white light flashed and wrapped around Xuemingxi. The hat she wore was blown off, exposing her beautiful long hair. It fluttered, dancing around like fairies. Her black hair transformed into pure white. The yellow shorts and vest she wore slowly turned into a white silk skirt. Even Feng Mojia could not help but open her eyes at this extraordinary sight, gazing at the sky. By my body, watch over this endless night. O souls separated by yin and yang, please set aside that sorrow. Xuemingxi quietly chanted. Mingxi no. Ding Wanjing sobbed. Jingluan. Wanjiner knew immediately when she saw Xuemingxi's actions. She glanced silently at 9 tattooed dragons Jingluan, Xuemingxi and the others, charging a technique in preparation to kill Xian. Little sister Mingxi, what are you doing? Song Qingci suddenly felt endless throbbing from the heavenly star birth banner in her hand. She did her utmost to fix sick tiger Xuemingxi's star in place, but this was completely out of her control. Although the time I knew elder sister was short, Mingxi feels very pleasant. It turns out, the sisters really can transcend mutual slaughter. Wanjing, I am very happy to have been your partner for so many years in the star duels. Xuemingxi. Do you remember when we first met? I was sleeping, and when you saw that I was not breathing, you thought I had died. You surprisingly even dug a grave to bury me in. Xuemingxi. The sick tiger's body is very frail. In other words, they appear to be on the verge of starfalling at any time. If you died, how wretched would it be for no one to bury you? You are my little sister, so I stayed by your side. When you die, I would find a place with good feng shui to bury you in. Ding Wanjing. Hey Xuemingxi, don't sleep from now on. If you fall asleep without breathing, I will have to dig a hole. And digging is very tiring. Ding Wanjing. We seem to be able to sign a contract. We can climb the mountain together then. Haha, I am so glad. Ding Wanjing. Thanks Wanjing. I am so grateful to you for staying with me for so long. Sick tiger Xuemingxi at this moment shed her previous frailty. She appeared with unprecedented brilliance. White light gathered under the greatest quintessential body in the world. The sound of souls formed into a perfect song. Xian stopped her advance, feeling the sword in her hand quiver. What is the meaning of this? This girl. Her narrowed eyes finally widened. Xian showed an expression of astonishment for the first time. Xuemingxi at this time opened her eyes. She spread her arms, and the good and evil karma banner stopped flapping. Then, it became a white rainbow that poured into her body. Xuemingxi slightly smiled. Her whole body became a white light that fell towards Xian. In the white light that filled the skies, the young girl changed into fluttering white clothes. In their awe, she made everyone seem to think of Xuannu of ninth heaven. Xuemingxi's crimson star fell at the same time. Heaven rank. See you next life. Xian was in the middle of the white light. Formidable power practically froze all sound in the world. Ding Wanjing felt her mental connection to Xuemingxi sever. The girl released a wail for she knew they would not possibly meet in their next life. Liked it. Tranquil star sick tiger Xuemingxi's sacrifice to use her heaven rank could be said to be powerful. The entire Seven Worthies forest seemed to be enveloped in white light. Ding Wanjing let out heartrending sobs. Sun Yueying, Jingluan, and Wanjiner nevertheless did not have time to grieve. The three great martial generals knew that even though Xuemingxi had sacrificed herself, to kill Xian like this was not very realistic. At the moment Xuemingxi attacked, Sun Yueying and the others did not hesitate to prepare their own strongest techniques. The three of them had comprehended multiple heavenly books. Among them, brave star sick Yuqi Sun Yueying and 9 tattooed dragons Jingluan had even comprehended heaven rank. Sun Yueying stirred 1,000 snow piles and 10,000 clouds. Multicolored vapor lifted like a curtain, and an aurora was released under Sun Yueying's star weapon. Suddenly, Seven Worthies forest world was engulfed within, so gorgeous and expansive it left one unable to breathe. Powerful killing intent poured out from the star weapon. The whole aurora gathered, and then dispersed between 1,000 snow piles and 10,000 clouds. In this endless aurora, each episode from Sun Yueying's star duels in Liangshan continent were reflected. From her awakening in the Azure Dragon territories, Cash Mountain overlooked the vast Liangshan continent, to meeting her little sister Sun Xinyue, and giving martial arts instruction, on to her actions at the Crystal Dragon Palace to hinder 2 Star Masters, and so on. Sun Yueying's eyes were even more resolute than a lion's, full of all the pride a top-notch martial general could possess. The woman pounced, slashing at Xian. Heaven rank. Cut the seasons without hearing its name. 9 tattooed dragons. Zhenyuan also prepared a heaven rank staff technique. Zhenyuan spun the yellow dragon staff. Countless yellow dragons flew out from the staff, each one an enormous 1,000 chi in length as they all pounced towards Xian. Heaven rank, leaving marks on history. Wang also once again flung out her shoei in a flash, raising tens of thousands of flying swords afterwards. With a series of bangs, Pang Shu fired off fragments of stars, blasting the Hell Illusion Death Butterfly flying swords to pieces. We must quickly help the queen and the others. Xian Yunshang was grave when she saw this, promptly speaking out. The girl fired a chain of arrows. Earth rank, all things face hardship. Monstrous arrows were launched, whistling with an evil wind as they transformed into tens of thousands of specters, vanishing and reappearing in midair en route to Pang Shu. Ding Wanjing also activated Earth rank, all stars kill moon. You wish to face me in archery? You are still too inexperienced. Pang Shu's fingertips gently gripped. Her bowstring strummed. With the sound of a collapse, she also used an Earth rank, broken bowstring delicate charm. Ugly Prince Consort Xian Yunshang and the others felt a booming in their ears. From Pang Shu's bow, 100 white rainbows suddenly shot out, surprisingly suppressing both Xian Yunshang and Ding Wanjing's Earth ranks all on her own. Bao Nyang'er activated star magic, and Ding Wuda gripped her Chan staff, brandishing it. This is bad. Ugly Prince Consort's mask had been shattered by the arrows, exposing the girl's absolutely beautiful complexion. You look so beautiful. What are you doing wearing that hideous mask? Pang Shu chuckled, squinting her eyes and taking aim once again. Xian Yunshang smiled charmingly, her eyes stern. Suddenly, a rare scene appeared in the space around her. 10 gigantic fireballs appeared in the sky, rising high like suns. Xian Yunshang was just in the middle of them. Bao Nyang'er's Earth rank star magic was originally able to kill Xian Yunshang, but her 10,000 living things had only drawn near Xian Yunshang's 10 suns when they were immediately scorched cleanly away. At the same time, Ding Wuda's rush was finding it difficult to advance. Ha, another heaven rank. Pang Shu wrinkled her face. How did this Songjiang's people have so many heaven ranks? Hey! Xian Yunshang shouted, firing an arrow. The 10 suns around her immediately were drawn along, unexpectedly gravitating towards Pang Shu, Ding Wuda, and Bao Nyang'er. Furthermore, Xian Yunshang did not let go of the young woman sleeping in the Seven Worthies forest. To maintain her tranquility amidst such intense fighting, this directly informed Xian Yunshang that girl was very dangerous, that she needed to be wiped out. Heaven rank, Hoi shoots suns. 9 sun golden crows, their might could not be underestimated. See you next life. Cut the seasons without hearing its name, leaving marks on history. Hoi shoots suns. 4 heaven ranks emerged in succession. They must die. Sun Yueying's heart was in her throat. The aurora receded. The yellow dragons faded away. The Xuannu's white rainbow vanished without a trace, and there was even tranquil star Xuemingxi's crimson star. Sun Yueying felt that she ought to have scored a hit on the enemy. Although their opponent's realms were unbelievably powerful, her full power heaven rank should be at least able to injure her. As Qingci thought this, the star weapon tight in her grip once again gathered star energy to prepare to launch a second wave Earth rank. An instant flourish and decay passed hand. I am much obliged to have experienced your sisterly bond. From within the air floated out an indifferent voice that made Sun Yueying feel despair. Xian appeared before everyone. The clothes covering her tall figure were slightly ripped. The woman held the claymore inverted before her, assuming a defensive posture. A magnificent phoenix spreading its wings appeared on the claymore, protecting its wielder. Even with 3 heaven ranks, Xian merely suffered some minor injuries to the corner of her mouth. Xian wiped away the streak of blood on her lip, once again narrowing her eyes. Then, she licked her knuckles that were stained full of blood, a malevolent appearance. Wang felt her whole body go cold. Just who are you? Xian, the enemy who has decided to destroy the bond of your maiden mountain sisters. Xian answered. Then she attacked. Look, oh you! Cold light flashed before Sun Yueying's eyes. Before she could finish speaking, bloodlight burst open across her chest. The true phoenix power inside her body seemed to have been sucked away by the claymore. Sun Yueying felt her whole body go powerless. Xian took another step, brushing past Sun Yueying. Righteousness cannot resist the mandate of heaven. Sun Yueying gazed at the sky, letting out a laugh. Your servant is very unreconciled about this star duel, ha 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 ha. Qingci Starfall. 9 tattooed dragons. Zhenyuan promptly activated her innate skill. Her top ripped apart, exposing her bare upper body. 9 dragon tattoos appeared on her skin. Zhenyuan raised her realm to the limit, but because she had once used it before in addition to having used a heaven rank, this boost was not as high as she had hoped. However, even only at True Phoenix 6th stage, 9 tattooed dragons still advanced with her all. Quickly bring Qingci away, go find that man. Zhenyuan swung her staff. This time, Xian took a little while. Even using her yellow rank, Broken Destiny, for the first time. This Luan still has not found the devil that originally peeped on me. How can I die at your hands? Zhenyuan was struck, but she stepped forward, letting the phoenix splitter pierce through her body. The star weapon in her hand became a saber and slashed. Xian was apparently a bit surprised, but she had true phoenix protection. The blade merely inched its way into Xian's shoulder before becoming unable to advance further. I will help avenge you then. Xian coolly ended Zhenyuan's star duels. Sword Star Wang looked at the advancing Xian. Her heart sank, but the woman grit her teeth and stepped forward. Yunshang, quickly get Qingci away, find Linchong and the rest. Wang was deeply aware they were already unable to avert catastrophe this time. Their sole wish was only to hope that man they once loathed could forgive them, perhaps even stop this. Thus Yunshang had used her heaven rank, finally repelling a ragged-looking Deng Wuda and Pang Shu. She specifically glanced into the bamboo grove, her expression unsightly. The sleeping woman surrounding 100 meters of forest was verdant. Not a single stalk was affected. Her heaven rank was completely useless. Seeing Sun Yueying and the queen fall in succession, Yunshang's heart seemed to twist from the pain. Tears flowed freely. Of course we should have joined hands with Su Xing. Yunshang did not hesitate to summon flower tribute and hurry to Qingci. Xian cut Wang down in a single strike, proceeding to walk slowly towards Qingci. Although the Iron Oxley Longkue still guarded Song Qingci with ferocity, it was clear she was enraged by the sight of her sisters dying. Seeing Xian approach, she said, "Elder sister, go." To have been able to follow elder sister in this life, Longkue can die without regrets. Li Longkue let out a low but resolute voice. The woman raised her bereaved immortal lofty slaughter, lifting a black whirlwind. The storm became a demonic mouth that devoured Xian. How is this happening? Song Qingci's sisters were starfalling one after another. No matter how she used the heavenly starbirth banner, she was unable to save a single sister. The speed of Xian's slaughter was honestly too quick. She was completely unable to find a chance to fix any star. Song Qingci sobbed spasmodically as she continuously and futilely waved the heavenly starbirth banner. Sister after sister fell before her eyes. Why? Jade-armed craftsman Jin Xiongyu was completely scared stiff. Everything happening in front of her was like a nightmare. Impossible, our enemy is clearly Su Xing. Why are you interfering? Why are you opposing us? Su Xing is the greatest enemy. Jin Xiongyu thought numbly in her mind. This was the first time she saw such a desperate star duel. Powerful fear made Jin Xiongyu wet herself, her body stiffen. Jin Xiongyu, quickly take elder sister and run. Huang Fuyuan blew into her flute, wielding the last bit of her star energy. up until there were no star beasts left to summon. Seeing Jin Xiongyu staring blankly, she scolded her. Run, run where? This woman is too strong. We will die, we will all surely die. Sun Yueying, Shi Jingluan, they're both dead. We won't be able to outrun them. Even Lin Chong will die. It's all over. Jin Xiongyu muttered. Huang Fuyian ran over and slapped her. A palm print appeared on Jin Xiongyu's face. The girl finally recovered a bit of awareness. I only wanted us to climb the mountain, why? Jin Xiongyu cried. Calm down, coward, quickly. Before Huang Fuyian could finish, several arrows stuck into the girl's chest. Yuyan! Blood splattered across Jin Xionyu's face. Huang Fuyian extended her hand, trembling as she stroked Jin Xionyu's cheek, using the last of her strength to say, Hurry and find that man. Beast Star fell to the ground, Starfall. Jin Xiongyu finally snapped out of it. She roared and grabbed the similarly despairing Song Qingci. Elder sister, there is still hope. Quickly go find Su Xing, hurry go. Su Xing. Hearing this name, Shi Xian's apathetic face was all of a sudden a bit angry. She killed Li Longkue with a single swing of her sword. Jin Xiongyu looked at this powerful enemy and threw herself over, latching onto Shi Xian's leg, her mouth shouting non-stop. Elder sister, quickly run away. Hurry and run, elder sister. I am so sorry, sisters. Just let me die too. Song Qingci knelt on the ground, her head lowered. Hurry, run, elder sister. Find Su Xing. Jin Xiongyu shouted at the top of her lungs. Shi Xian wrinkled her brow, unexpectedly unable to shake off this insignificant and feeble star general. The woman coldly stabbed her sword into Jin Xionyu's body. Jin Xiongyu vomited blood, but she held fast to Shi Xian, stalling her. The jade-armed craftsman's strength was shocking, making even Shi Xian a bit surprised. Shi Xian stopped her advance, merely lowering her head to look at Jin Xiongyu wrapped around her. The merciless woman was surprisingly a bit moved. Shu'er hates these kinds of eternal partings. Fret not. We may as well send you all together back to Maiden Mountain to see each other. Pang Shu fired an arrow at the Song Qingci who had given up. Also at this time, Deng Wuda could not bear watching this any longer. She wanted to quickly end this massacre. The woman strode forward, simultaneously hurling a fist at Song Qingci. Sister Qingci. Xian Yunshang grabbed the already despairing Song Qingci. Pang Shu's arrow pierced Xian Yunshang's heart, nearly killing her. Wake up, wake up. Xian Yunshang felt her elder sister's ice-cold body was torn with grief. Deng Wuda's punch was fast approaching, already upon them. This is bad, someone come save us. Su Xing, save us. All of Xian Yunshang's hopes turned to dust. Su Xing's face suddenly flashed in her mind, and she subconsciously yelled at the top of her voice. Boom, like a miracle, a bloodlight blossomed right before her eyes, assuming the figure of a man. The man's wrathful punch slammed into Deng Wuda's cheek, sending the woman flying, shattering this world of despair. Su Xing. Xian Yunshang was dumbstruck to see the Su Xing who had appeared. At that moment, the staunch ugly prince consort all of a sudden wanted to break into tears. Liked it. Lord Su. Song Qingci emerged from her despair. What are you doing? Quickly use your destined weapon. Do you want to see Xian Yunshang's starfall? Su Xing scolded her immediately. Song Qingci suddenly regained her senses, finally noticing the arrow in Xian Yunshang's heart. Song Qingci mumbled an apology, promptly waving the heavenly starbirth banner, fixing Xian Yunshang's star. Then, Ansuan immediately activated her healing powers to mend the wound. Qiongyu. Song Qingci saw the skillful star under Shi Xian's sword, her heart torn with grief. She also immediately thought of fixing her, but she was already too late. Jin Qiongyu looked at Su Xing, smiled wretchedly, then star fell. Wuda, you got hit in the face. Pang Shu snickered. Deng Wuda rubbed her cheek, endlessly indignant. So you are Su Xing? Shi Xian narrowed her eyes, raising that violent sword of hers. Although she appeared very relaxed, she nevertheless gave off a frightening pressure. And you must be Feng Mojia's subordinates? The heavenly spirit, earthly fiend, purple star, 5 elements, flying swords revolved around him. Su Xing's eyes did not take his eyes of Shi Xian. When he mentioned Feng Mojia's name, Xian's seemingly existent yet non-existent killing intent immediately flared. Terrifying aggression suddenly made Su Xing's 5 elements flying swords all cry at once. How can someone like you utter Her Highness' name? Xian's figure moved, the phoenix splitter sword descending. What swift speed! Su Xing blocked using the 5 elements flying swords, controlling them to launch an encirclement. Xian slashed a second time, and saber light instantly fell upon Su Xing's chest, as if ignoring distance and space. The meditative mind lotus flower shattered. Su Xing was forced back. All of you can die. Xian calmly raised her sword. When the third sword light attacked, 2 figures of white and black quickly closed in, dispersing the sword light. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. Blood-splashing Mandarin duck. Yingmei and Wuxia rushed out one after another, their dark techniques launching a 2-pronged attack. At the same time, Huanyue fired a 10,000 god-killing arrow from behind. Weapons clashed. The phoenix splitter sword blocked, completely stopping both the Arctic Star Serpent Spear and Noble Frost Demonic Lotus. Xian squinted at the 2 girls in front of her. Lin Cheng and Wu Song. Humph! Yingmei yelled, pushing her spear, twirling boundless killing intent. At the same time, Wuxia changed tactics with her twin swords, circling around. Xian was unmoved. Sword light abruptly rose, trimming a few strands of hair. A bloodlight blossomed upon Wuxia's chest. The pilgrim was directly repelled, and a second sword strike followed with even faster speed. Yingmei relied on her formidable realm and 7-star destined weapon to barely obstruct her, but Xian floated forth. She leisurely came before Su Xing. What a boring slaughter! Against these true spirits, Xian had not a single bit of interest. Her fury was focused completely on Su Xing. Her sword tip brushed straight against his neck, swift as lightning. Xian had absolute confidence. She had seen herself decapitate this man who dared to become intimate with Her Majesty. Bang! The clear collision of weapons informed Xian that her expectations were misplaced. The smiling killing immortal showed an astonished expression, for she saw Su Xing had unexpectedly parried her attack. Impossible! Even those true Phoenix 5th and 6th stage star generals were all incapable of defending. This man has surprisingly warded off my attack. Su Xing's whole body was in a cold sweat from fright. This woman was honestly too violent. Fortunately, his prior battles with the overlords had already trained his realm very sufficiently. Otherwise, he would have just been instantly killed in that moment. He somewhat understood why Qiaogai set the trials upon him. Could it be because of this woman? Reversing 5 elements sword array. Su Xing promptly formed a hand seal. His 60 flying swords became multicolored lights, quickly covering Xian. Broken destiny. Xian coldly spat 2 words. Bang! Bloodlight exploded upon the flying swords, striking them all down. Then an unimaginably baleful aura surrounded Su Xing's entire body. Purple Cloud East approaches was completely torn apart. Hey! Hunyangzi and Dong Junqing rushed over just in time, crossing their swords and spears. Watch this! Dong Junqing shouted. Her earth-rank dragonfly's phoenix dances. Don't go! Su Xing called out, his hand seizing the purple brilliant reclining moon blade and attacking. Xian sneered. She raised her sword, breaking Dong Junqing's earth rank in one blow and cutting it down to the ground. Her next strike would have directly taken Dong Junqing's life, if Zhao Hanyan had not activated the 72 Outer Void Flying Immortals swords to save Dong Junqing. To think you would have the urge to bet her, that woman is too strong. You are not her opponent. Zhao Hanyan scolded Dong Junqing. She then turned a relieved expression to Su Xing. Where are you going? Wuxia and Yingmei saw that Xian was targeting their master, and they immediately turned back. The 7-star destined weapon of Hunyangzi was currently warding off Xian. Her yellow rank, dark rank, and earth rank were used in succession, but Xian was unperturbed. She looked at this cool and elegant bright star. Your realm is not bad. The phoenix splitter ignored her, slashing Hunyangzi across the chest, repelling her. Wu Xinjie saw that this situation was equivalent to the end of the next uprising faction. Kill the others first. Wu Xinji activated the 8 gates black gold chains bind silk before rain. The other 3 of the Xianliang Shu-de generals launched attacks at this time. Hey, do not ignore us. Pang Shu unhappily fired stars filling the sky to demonstrate her existence. Little E, we will first help get rid of the others for my lord. Hua Wanyue said to Yan Yizhen, aiming her gaze at the Pang Shu firing arrows, launching crimson arrows like shooting stars. The hero star? Pang Shu's eyes lit up when she saw that her own arrows were surprisingly all intercepted. Watch this earth rank. Pang Shu danced in midair. Her thin and delicate body drew the bow in her hands into a full moon. East Sea is ravenous. Arrow lights shot out, filling the sky, seemingly plowing the entire Seven Worthies forest. Hua Wanyue's sun-piercing heavenly rainbow clashed against East Sea is ravenous, rainbow light colliding against white light. But Pang Shu's realm was superb. Several arrows pierced through Hua Wanyue's body. Die hero star. Pang Shu chuckled, firing a second arrow. Right after this rainbow light dispersed, an apathetic maid suddenly appeared in front of her. Pang Shu was startled, catching sight of Yan Yizhen's fists covered in yin and yang, a pair of carps swimming around them. Pang Shu circulated her formidable power, spreading her true phoenix wings to repel Yan Yizhen. But Yan Yizhen's speed was too quick. Swallow Flash Samsara. Bao Nyang'er wanted to go help Pang Shu, but she was faced with Gongsun Huang, who was number 1 in magic energy, and her new heavenly phoenix. Gongsun Huang was draped in her phoenix perching cloud clothes, her hand wielding the Pine-brand ancient sword, continuously casting star magic. Thunderclaps, storms, and flames filled the skies, endlessly pounding Bao Nyang'er. Bao Nyang'er's star magic was oddly a spectral, white spirit. These spirits could seize a person's soul, and they hindered the new heavenly phoenix. Phoenix execution skybreak. Gongsun Huang activated her earth rank, transforming into a phoenix. Bao Nyang'er squinted her charming eyes. The white dragon pattern upon that piece of cloth, that only covered the fork of her legs, flew out. Her snow-white legs walked on air, and her body was braced by countless souls, turning her into an enormous white dragon that rushed out and clashed with the Phoenix execution skybreak. Not bad, this star magic is beautiful. Watch this palace's reward. Chai Ling praised, gracefully stroking Xing'er. A giant beam of golden light burst out from Xing'er's mouth, similarly forming a golden dragon. The two techniques collided. Bao Nyang'er was somewhat outmatched, turning the woman a bit furious. This old lady shall refine your true spirits into puppets. What a splendid idea, here have another reward. Bang! Gold obscuring her field of vision immediately struck her in the face. Deng Wuda faced Lu Shaking. Having drunk Jade Lake Moon due to recover her star energy, the solitary star was currently pitting monster strength against monster strength. The two women had first fought with their staffs, striking back and forth. Deng Wuda's strength was immense, her realm higher than Lu Shaking's. If it was not for being injured by Xian Yunshang's heaven rank earlier, she would have had sufficient might to suppress her opponent. Mercy! Lu Shaking's palm forced Deng Wuda back, recovering some of her own injuries in the process. You think you can stop me with just yourself alone? Deng Wuda's right hand struck back, the chains on her arm rattling. Black chi lingered around this fist, devouring space. Lu Shaking could not easily receive this blow, promptly retreating, but her body was caught by a wisp of black chi, surprisingly immobilizing her. This was Deng Wuda's earth rank, devouring immortal Buddha completely. However, at this moment, the 5 elements banners unfurled around Deng Wuda. Then, a bright moon rose from the array, suddenly bursting out to end her attack. Deng Wuda had no choice but to grasp and devour the moon. Afterwards, the Ice Soul Snow Spirit Flying Swords and the Water Moon Paradise Weave-marked Flying Swords descended as a graceful sword array. There is us too. Gong Kaiwei, Zhu Sha, and Shiyu emerged. 7 Worthies Forest, a chaotic battle. Song Qingci and Xian Yunshang watched dumbfounded. This man is this strong? Xian Yunshang said with difficulty. She was too injured to fight. Sorry, Song Qingci's eyes were red from crying. She had already lost most of her picturesque gracefulness. She watched as her sister's star fell one after another before her eyes, yet she was unable to intervene. Xian Yunshang's beautiful complexion was merely silent. In fact, the situation was far beyond her imagination. She never imagined that at one point, such terrifying enemies would ambush them. Your lord perhaps cannot stop them either. Xian Yunshang sighed. Ugly prince consort blankly and sadly muttered to herself. In the end, we were unable to change the star duels. I want to go help Lord Su. Song Qingci summoned the 9 Dragons seal. She wanted to face Xian, but she was held back by Ensuan. Elder sister, don't go. Ensuan shook her head. Your servant cannot watch them throw their lives away. Song Qingci was already embracing a mentality of indiscriminate destruction. Elder sister, believe in Big Brother. Don't go. Only when you climb the mountain can there possibly be an end to the star duels. If you die, you will have wasted all of the faith Big Brother placed upon you for nothing. Ensuan refused to let go. Only your servant can end the star duels? Song Qingci was startled. Ensuan earnestly nodded. In short, please protect yourself, elder sister. This is also Big Brother's request. When the time comes, let us climb the mountain together. At the very end, is your servant unable to do anything at all? Song Qingci was very dejected. Although it was cruel, this was reality. Song Qingci's 2-star weapons, the Heavenly Star Birth Banner, and the Justice on Heaven's Behalf Uprising Star's banner both lacked any indication they could be used in battle. The leader star going into battle was undoubtedly no different from suicide. Master has sent me to take you back to the Longevity Palace for refuge in the meantime. The 9-tailed fox Huashui ran over and spoke to Song Qingci and Xian Yunshang. Although Song Qingci did not want to flee, she knew she would only become a burden as she was right now. She made her way towards the Longevity Palace with Huashui. Meanwhile, when Xian saw that Song Qingci was escaping, how could she remain reconciled? I will first kill Song Jiang to get rid of future troubles. Then I will come play with you. Xian sent Su Xing an apathetic grin. This is bad. Su Xing's heart sank. He hastily wanted to use the reclining Moonblade's earth rank to stop her, but he was already too late. Xian took one step forward. A step as if taking a stroll. It appeared completely unremarkable. Yingmei and Wuxia even felt they could kill her, but after this step passed, everything reversed. Xian had already vanished from their encirclement in the blink of an eye. By the time they realized it, Xian was already in front of Song Qingci. The star duels can end. The woman smiled, stabbing her sword through Song Qingci's chest. She finally used her dark rank. No return. Liked it. Emperor Liang was currently cultivating the Bright Moon Longevity chant in the Mountains and Rivers Pavilion. Crimson stars fell continuously one after another, like a meteor shower. Bian City, the Great Liang Dynasty, and perhaps even the entire 4 territories could be heard letting out every kind of gasp. Emperor Liang opened his eyes and looked to the far-off Maiden Mountain, his brow furrowed. There were honestly too many crimson stars falling. Surprisingly, there were 20 or more. These starfalls are truly unprecedented. That brat has not gone berserk, has he? Emperor Liang thought to himself. He shook his head and continued to cultivate. The scene of the world froze at this moment. Song Qingci blankly stared at the sword that had pierced through her. Her forehead's star crest flickered. Her star energy ebbing an indication of her imminent starfall. Not good. Ensuan pointed a slender finger, immediately activating Earth rank. Mind-stealing fine rain. All of those injuries were promptly transferred to the efficacious star. Run now, you two. Huashui bared its fangs, activating dazzling light mind image. Arrow hit Tiger Ding Wanjing's arrow force under heaven also attacked. After Xuemingxi's starfall, Ding Wanjing hated Xian to the bone. Although she did not comprehend heaven rank, the girl's fury was launched with 10,000 arrows. Xian Yunshang grabbed Song Qingci and pulled back. Little sister Suwen. Song Qingci used the 9 Dragons seal, but this purple star astral treasure's attack was practically useless against Xian. Thinking of running? Xian sneered, slaying Huashui with one strike and breaking Ding Wanjing's arrows. Wu Xinjia's 8 gates black gold chains obstructed her, but these were easily shredded. Only when Hunyangzi used these feelings our endless lasso to barely see Xian did Song Qingci finally find a chance to flee. Lin Yingmei and Wuxia quickly rushed over, looking at Xian with stern expressions. Xian was high above, squinting her eyes in an innocuous smile. What a pity, what a pity. Little sister. Su Xing held the collapsed Zhenyuan, his expression extremely devastated. Big brother. And Zhenyuan wanted to say something encouraging. Return to the star nest for now. Su Xing promptly said. Leave the rest to me. And Zhenyuan groaned and entered the star nest. This is only the first one. Xian lazily raised her claymore. As she spoke, she severed the red string, slashing at Hunyangzi. The second. Wuxia and Lin Yingmei hastily flew over to stop her. Su Xingxiang, you will not die an easy death. Following his wretched curse, Zhao Heng was sucked into the 10,000 souls parasol to suffer refinement. Just like this, Lady Snake Scorpion, Yan Wudao Gongsong, Yi Futu, the Rock Demon King and others were refined into the 10,000 souls parasol one after another by Su Xingxiang, becoming part of her dark rebirth devouring cultivation method. These once jeering and arrogant star masters of Liangshan continent. These people could even have become Overlord. Now all became tools to bolster Su Xingxiang's power. Hearing those resentful curses, Su Xingxiang opened the parasol, walking barefoot cheerfully over the dunes. After absorbing the star energies of so many powerful star masters, Su Xingxiang's cultivation had astonishingly already reached supervoid peak. The 10,000 souls parasol was even more arrogant and overbearing. The Yu Plains was enveloped in boundless darkness. Su Jingshu was doing her utmost to ward off the assault of the 10,000 souls. Golden Lancer's treasure armor had already lost its brilliance, her entire person beginning to dim. Humi quickly run. Su Jingshu continued to stall. The Humi who was already at the end of her rope used the supreme ultimate diagram, but she could barely even defend. Su Xingxiang lifted her head to look at the sky, counting the crimson stars on her rosy fingers. Surprisingly, there are still a dozen star masters. This is not enough for the 7 stars uprising. Su Xingxiang wrinkled her brow. There were even more star masters than she had imagined, and she did not know just how many followed the purple thunder monster. Originally, when she saw that Su Xing and Humi's relationship was not bad, she wanted to let her go. However, she now saw that this was unnecessary. The count of star masters was still too high. There would be no other chances for the 7 stars assembly's quota. Forgive me, Fairy Fox of voracious admiration. Su Xingxiang nodded, black smoke billowing out of the 10,000 souls parasol. Su Jingshu used her own body to obstruct the 10,000 souls parasol, but Su Xingxiang shook her head. Su Xingxiang, do you think Su Xing will let you go when you are so insidious? Humi coldly said. Xingxiang only wants to ascend Maiden Mountain. Is fighting for my own opportunity somehow wrong? Su Xingxiang sighed, very depressed. And yet you did not fight for your own opportunity. Humi Xingxiang sees that you clearly could have become a member of that man's harem. Yet when the time came, you chose to be his enemy. You have only yourself to blame for choosing the wrong path. Su Xingxiang charmingly winked. Xingxiang would never have chosen wrong. The 10,000 souls attacked, practically chewing Su Jingshu to pieces. Jingshu. Humi's heart ached, and a glimmering tear rolled down her cheek. What is that escape technique this monster used so fast? Xie Chang'an finally hurried to Seven Worthies Forest, in disbelief at Su Xing's bloodlight escape technique. Could that be the legendary chaotic tail? Just as Xie Chang'an thought this, he suddenly sensed a large number of crimson stars fall behind him. Carefully counting them, there were surprisingly more than 6. That Su Xingxiang is treacherous as expected, Xie Chang'an sneered. Your Highness. Huyan Shuang suddenly furrowed her brow. Xie Chang'an immediately very flabbergasted upon seeing the scene before him. What in the world is this? A couple dozen star generals were fighting a war against 4 women. One side filled the skies with arrow light, firing back and forth. The other was full of wind, thunder, water, and fire overturning heaven and covering the earth. There were also 2 women in Buddhist garb trading punches as heavy as Mount Tai. Even from several thousand meters away, he could feel pressure. As expected, The person that Xie Chang'an was most concerned about was still Su Xing himself. Su Xing, Lin Chong Wu Song, Hu Sanyang, and Wu Yong were all currently facing one woman. That woman's figure was slender, wearing brocade and armor, beaming from ear to ear, but that claymore dancing in her hands was practically complete darkness. The top-notch martial generals Wu Song and Lin Chong were surprisingly suppressed. That woman seems to be very powerful, but just who are they? What is happening? Unexpectedly, even the 7-star Lin Chong cannot defeat her? Xie Chang'an was incredulous. Your Highness, what do we do? Seeing that powerful opponent, Huyan Shuang was somewhat restless. Xie Chang'an felt that there was nothing remarkable when he saw that Su Xing was surprisingly able to match that woman for 100 bouts. This time, we will help the Purple Thunder monster. In the later 7 stars uprising, this will be fine. They were already unable to defeat the Purple Thunder monster anyways, so it would be better to be straightforward with their goodwill. Furthermore, Shuanger, you must want to fight a war. Xie Chang'an smiled. I happen to have this intent. Xie Chang'an and Huyan Shuang immediately moved to attack Xian. At this time, Xian Lao also reached Seven-Worthies Forest, but her idea of friend and foe was different from Xie Chang'an. The expressionless woman merely stared, resentment flickering in her eyes. This woman is too powerful. Wu Xinjie had never met such a strong opponent. Lin Yingmei's strength was second only to the previous overlord across all of the past star duels. Add on true Phoenix martial generals like Wuxia and Hunyangzi. Even if they ran into Hu Ban's Wang now, they would have absolute power to win. But against Xian, if it was not for Lin Yingmei doing everything she could to inhibit Xian, Wu Xinjie practically could see them dying to that sword. That Phoenix splitter sword was too strange. True Phoenix martial generals practically held no advantages before this sword. Die for the sake of avenging Mingxi. Ding Wanjing still was continuously launching arrows at Xian. It was thanks to her arrows that Xian was unable to completely display her own martial arts. Xian felt irritated, slashing at her. A bloodlight saved Ding Wanjing again. You're no match for her. Calm down a bit. Su Xing saw this berserk girl and rebuked her. I want to avenge Mingxi. Ding Wanjing felt her blood boil. Just a little more, and she could comprehend heaven rank. Don't stop me. Ding Wanjing shoved Su Xing away, continuing to fire arrow force under heaven again and again at Xian. Su Xing was left with no choice but to protect her. His exceptional martial arts could barely ward off Xian as he pulled Ding Wanjing around in evasive maneuvers. Watch Wanjing's heaven rank. Ding Wanjing finally sensed the structure of her destined weapon's heaven rank. With delight in her heart, she did not hesitate to activate it. Ding Wanjing pointed at the sky. Innumerable arrows flew into the heavens, and the sky was immediately pitch black. In that pitch black darkness, countless starlights glimmered. The girl then pulled her hand back, as if she was pulling apart the sky like a curtain. The stars filling the sky immediately fell. That feeling was like the entire starry sky had become a weapon of fury in her hands. Heaven rank stars falling from heaven. This girl's heaven rank was honestly too violent. Su Xing was left with no choice but to withdraw. The dreadful attack made Lin Yingmei and Wu Xio unable to avoid temporarily pulling away from Xian. When the 10,000 arrows descended, the Milky Way seemed to fall on Xian's head, covering the woman. Revenge for Mingxi. Ding Wanjing finished her heaven rank and was already completely exhausted. At this moment, she caught sight of sick Tiger Mingxi's star weapon, Good and Evil Karma banner. Sniffling and choking with sobs, she walked over to retrieve the star weapon. Shit. Su Xing felt ominous when he saw her lower her guard. He once again used the chaotic tail escape, but this time, Xian was even faster. Bloodlight pierced through Ding Wanjing's body, instantly killing her. Xian was angry. He Gemin crosses the land unimpeded. Su Xing looked at the Xian so close at hand, and used the purple brilliant reclining Moonblade's earth rank. An unrivaled power burst out and made Su Xing unstoppable. Xian used her sword to block, surprisingly unable to ward the blow off. Purple Thunder monster, how about this highness helps you? Just at this moment, an arrogant voice came from the side. Xie Chang'an appeared, The 6 patriarchs Saraira protecting his body alongside the 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection, a spectacular sight. Huyan Shuang was beside him, raising wind and moon unmatched, gracefully using them as whips, drawing them down elegantly. You idiot! Leave now. Su Xing cursed. The arrogant Xiechong'an basically had no room to respond. Xian bounded over with a single step, once again using no return. Enough. She had had enough of the provocations from these stupid men. His surroundings all vanished. Xiechong'an fundamentally did not have martial force like Su Xing's that could defend against a true Phoenix martial general, but Xiechong'an still was considerably confident. His 6 patriarchs platform Sutra Saraira was the supreme power of Buddhism, and with the 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection, even Lin Chong could not possibly kill him so easily. All of his magnificent ideas and delusions were ended alongside his arrogance by the Phoenix Splitter's slash. The 6 patriarchs Saraira were directly disintegrated by her killing intent. This great magic weapon formed from supervoid cultivators could not withstand a single blow, let alone the 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection. The colored glass world promptly collapsed. Xiechong'an was somewhat in disbelief. Xian hated men, especially those with self-aggrandizing gazes. Therefore she took Xiechong'an's head with a single swing, then hacked this head to pieces with another. Your Highness, Huyan Shuang vomited blood. Her eyes dimmed, and she nearly fainted. The next instant, Xian ruthlessly ended the girl's grief. Prestige star, starfall. Liked it. This Xian is too abnormal. Su Xing panted. Having taken Arrow Hit Tiger's heaven rank and killed the prestige star, Xian still showed no signs of defeat at all. Meanwhile on his side Wuxia and Hunyangzi were already too exhausted, no longer threats. Just what is this woman's realm? Su Xing flipped open 2 birth outlines. The 2 birth outlines glowed, yet she was still a mystery. Lord Su, take your servants as well. Song Qingci threw her own birth treasure outline. Finally, with 3 of them, some of Xian's information was displayed. Star position, Slaughter star name, Shibao nickname, Smiling Killing Immortal true name, Xian star number. Star weapon, Phoenix Splitter, Star Beast, Nun Realm, True Phoenix 10th stage peak, Innate skill, Phoenix Restraint 5 elements, Fire Yellow rank technique, Broken Destiny Dark rank technique, No Return Earth rank technique, Super Kill Heaven rank technique, Final Blood Grounds current status, Detailed materials. True Phoenix 10th stage? Su Xing was dumbstruck when he saw this. He though that the realms only went up to 9th stage, but Xian surprisingly reached the peak of 10th stage. Could it be that what lay above True Phoenix was Emperor Star? No wonder Xian killed so easily, her attacks unstoppable. The difference in realms was honestly too large. And that innate skill Phoenix Restraint from a glance, this was a very ominous existence. Damn it. Su Xing understood why Chao Wuhui used so much effort in the past, but this woman honestly was too fierce. The Xian who was struck with several heaven ranks in succession was already a bit less easygoing than when she first started. But she still had enough room to show her own incredible prowess. On the other hand, that Su Xing was unexpectedly able to defend against several of her strikes made her very surprised. There will not be a next time. Xian raised the Phoenix Splitter, narrowing her eyes, asserting with a small grin. Your concubine will not allow you a next time either. A cold and elegant figure obstructed in front of her. Wuxia's eyes as deep as the cosmos could suck anyone inextricably in. The woman spoke with detachment and resolve. A bloodlight flashed, forcing Wuxia away again. Lin Yingmei raised her spear and advanced. Lord Husband. Wuxia arrived in front of Su Xing. Be careful. Su Xing secretly prepared the 5 Dragons Lantern and the Liangshan seal for an attack. Wuxia smiled and suddenly kissed Su Xing. With their hot kiss stirring her passion, Wuxia was very quickly already seemingly drunk. Her cheeks were a slight red hue, her expression charming to the bone. Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill, do not laugh laying drunk on battlefield. Interesting, 7 Worthies village nearby listening Dao Mountain. 2 women were currently staring fixedly at the intense battle below. One woman dressed in golden armor was dignified and mighty, but her eyes were full of worry. The woman beside her was flippant and heedless, but she bore a domineering aura. Can it be that you still do not wish to intercede? Chao Gai looked at the woman in front of her, wondering if she was actually drunk or faking. She was completely without worry at all. Song Qingci's uprising was nearly completely done for. If it was not for Su Xing's timely intervention, Chao Wuhui would have been unable to endure. So long as you can kill Xian and allow Song Qingci to scale the mountain, the star duels can end. Chao Gai continued. Against Xian, this one fears that only you are capable of contending against her. If you want me to help you, then first tell me everything about these star duels. Otherwise, your servant will not interfere in the star duels, even if these star duels cannot end. Konghou seemed drunk, but her mind was nevertheless very lucid. Chao Gai wanted to use the phrases, Sister Qingci, and end the star duels to rattle her, but that was a bit ridiculous. Chao Gai was silent for a moment. She watched Xian's massacre. No one could stop her. In the end, she said, as you have seen, Star World has millions of star names, but those that are Emperor Star can be counted on fingers. Star World's great song Empress flaunts herself as the ancestor of Star World. She received the Xuannu of Ninth Heaven's Star Duel Heavenly Book, and thus used this book to initiate the star duels. Seeing Konghou show an interested expression, Chao Wuhui said, but the use of this Xuannu of Ninth Heaven's Heavenly Book was somewhat harsh. At the time of the start, she must find 108 star maidens from Star World, who are able to inherit star names and place their true spirits inside Liangshan continent. Only in this way can their development be hastened, to reach a realm like yours. True spirit, you are saying our existences are traces of true spirit. Konghou was a bit skeptical. Precisely. Now I realize I am what I am. Heavenly solitary star Lu Shaking has already comprehended this idea. Star maidens are merely true spirits. Their true bodies are still within Star World's Xuannu Heavenly Book array. After an overlord climbs the mountain, Empress can exploit this true body to control these people. Konghou was quiet. Then your servant must be dead? Chao Gai was silent. And afterwards? Why do we star duel? Wu Konghou continued to drink her wine. She wanted to intoxicate herself even further, but her consciousness was nevertheless becoming clearer and clearer. Song Qingci has the Heavenly Star Birth banner, and the Justice on Heaven's Behalf Uprising banner. If these two things appear in Star World, she can make the millions of star names cower in fear. The Empress' greatest enemy is any place's home, Her Highness Fangmojia. For a unified Star World, she will need Songjiang's power. The star duels are merely a portion of the ceremony that can actually lead to, well, this one is not very clear about these either. So this is what lies beyond. Chao Wuhui spoke of everything she knew about the star duels. Now that things had reached this point that was only a step away from the final star duel, there was no use hiding anything anymore. Your servant has another 2 questions. Konghou licked her lips. What questions? Why is this generation's Songjiang capable of the uprising when the others have never shown any sign of it? Songjiang must first defeat a sister in order to initiate the uprising. The past Songjiangs completely lacked any martial force, so the uprising could not occur. However, the Xuannu of Ninth Heaven's Heavenly Book treats 9 as an end. Perhaps it was only in these 9-star duels that it could finally begin. Chao Wuhui was not clear on the particulars of this either. Fine, this is convincing enough for the time being. Wu Konghou then asked her next question. This time, her gaze wandered unfathomably and indeterminately over Su Xing's body. Then why is Su Xing able to contract with so many sisters? Is he also something Star World has arranged? Chao Gai looked at Su Xing. She herself honestly thought this man had come from Star World. You will have to ask him about this. Your servant never imagined that the star duels would be so simple. Star World is a power struggle, meaning that the enemy the Empress fears most is that sleeping girl? Wu Konghou's line of sight locked onto Fangmojia. That peaceful sleeping posture truly made her feel restless. Chao Gai was worried upon hearing her. Do not be rash. Fangmojia is an emperor star. You are no match for her. Her realm has already surpassed True Phoenix. If it was not for Feng Mojia's nature being on the temperate side, killing you all would be as easy as turning her hand over. Fortunately, Su Xing has brought about doubt in Feng Mojia. Only because of this will there be a chance to end the star duels this time. Surpass True Phoenix Realm? What realm is that? Wu Konghou's eyes glimmered. Xuannu Realm. The highest realm in Star World. Chao Gai was stern. The enemy before them is Xian. She is 10th stage peak, the one most qualified to step into the Emperor Stars. If you do not take action, Su Xing and the others may perish here. Aya, your servant knows. After so many years wasted eating and drinking at Great Circle Castle, your servant ought to repay a bit of that. Konghou yawned, stretching out. She immediately shook off her indolence, her expression fiercer than a lion's. A glowing star weapon appeared in her hand. Konghou split it into 2 swords. Her figure warped, immediately vanishing from sight. Meanwhile, Deng Wuda was already using her heaven rank to force Lu Shaking, Shiyu and the others back. The woman shouted, the enormous hand of her arm as thick as a pillar about to crush Lu Shaking. Watch this heaven rank. Just at this moment, a ray of black and white swordlight flashed past. Deng Wuda had already sensed it, but her counterpart's speed was too fast. She could only barely ward it off. Sharp swordlight with incomparable ferocity surprisingly inhibited the power of her heaven rank entirely. Deng Wuda was shocked. Then, a foot stepped on her, and enormous power abruptly sent her flying. By the time Deng Wuda regained her senses, a terrifying 9-star sword twisted from the left and right. White lotuses and black blood blossomed. Deng Wuda screamed, her arms severed. The woman felt disbelief. She looked at the woman who had appeared. Who are you? Her slim figure had a kind of transcendental charm, full of a leisurely ease and pressure. Konghou's hands split her twin swords, gracefully, comfortably, and lazily replying. Your servant is Wu Konghou. The 8th Overlord is in attendance. Liked it. Ever since the previous star duels, Wu Song obtained the Overlord position and was unable to scale Maiden Mountain. It was 100 years later when the star duels began again. Yet Wu Konghou unexpectedly did not starfall, remaining all this time in Liangshan continent. As for what the star duels meant to her right now, Wu Konghou herself was not very sure. After finally receiving the end result of the star duels from Chao Gai today, the last shred of melancholic reluctance in Wu Konghou's finally faded away. Deng Wuda's arms had been severed. She stared angrily at Wu Konghou. The pilgrim smiled languidly. She stepped forward, jumping in front of her. Her twin swords rose to kill Deng Wuda when at this moment, a white light rolled around Deng Wuda and saved her from Wu Konghou's swords. Wu Konghou did not pursue, but she looked in the direction that the white light fled in. It was precisely towards that peaceful and quiet bamboo grove, towards Feng Mojia. Wuda. Pang Shu was enraged, using her bow and arrow to stop Yan Yizhen's boxing. The girl's delicate body burst forth with inconceivable power. True phoenix wings sprouted, forcing Yan Yizhen back. Skillful star Yan Yizhen's fists became yin and yang, her 99 yang life and death. So annoying. Pang Shu cursed, irritated. Her arrows released light, completely absorbing the power of Yan Yizhen's boxing yin and yang. Then the girl furiously fired an arrow towards Yan Yizhen's body. Hua Wanyue simultaneously fired an arrow. But Pang Shu's arrow became a hot and cold light mid-flight, surprisingly devouring Yan Yizhen's power completely. Now die. Pang Shu aimed at Yan Yizhen's crimson eyes. She prepared to fire an arrow at these loathsome eyes. Yan Yizhen was still apathetic, not showing any emotion whatsoever. The wanderer spread her arms, and a gorgeous flame ignited over her entire body. In the blink of an eye, the maid had transformed into a woman of extreme beauty. Her slender hands held 2 enormous Feng and Huang fans. On her face was a smile that could topple nations. Pang Shu, little girl is pleased to see you. Pang Shu was shocked. You are splendid, Starly Shir. Bitch that kneels before the Empress. See how I shall kill you. Pang Shu continued to loose arrows. Li Shir spread her fans, using dark technique, spread wings. After entering her psychic transformation state, Li Shir did not have any injuries whatsoever. Her realm was also True Phoenix 5th stage. Against the current Pang Shu, she was not at a disadvantage at all. Li Shishir's Feng and Huang opened and closed, comfortably spreading like phoenix winds. Magnificent flames directly brushed aside the arrow barrage. And at the same time, she arrived right in front of Pang Shu, sweeping her fans upward in an attack. Pang Shu's True Phoenix was unable to shake off Li Shishir. Li Shishir's country-destroying dance was not finished yet, however, for she used an earth rank Feng Soars the Skies, for Sees Seek Huang. She directly became a phoenix, taking Pang Shu into the 9 firmaments. Waves of flame pounded Pang Shui, making the girl suffer unbearably. Damn you, Li Shishir. Pang Shu was struck into the air, her body completely covered in injuries. The Feng and Huang fans practically gave the girl no room to think, but she was one of Feng Mojia's 4 marshals after all. She had experienced countless battlefields. Even under such vile circumstances, Pang Shu still fired an arrow that forced Li Shishir back. Watch this heaven rank. The girl was furious. Heaven rank archery, heaven and earth falls fired an arrow. A Qianquan pattern appeared around Li Shishir that locked the splendid star down. The arrow directly piercing her heart. This arrow could destroy true spirits, let alone return them to the star nest. Li Shishir was nevertheless unfazed. The reason the splendid star had the confidence to maintain a charming smile came from behind her. Hero star Huawanyue was behind her. Her bow was like a full moon. She gracefully strummed her bowstring, a gentle sound. The light of a waning moon shot out from the arrow, directly cleaving apart even space. That space seemed to be like a disintegrated flower, scattering in this world. The so-called fragmenting of space was no more than that. The comet arrow shot into the formation. 9 formidable powers endlessly attacked. Even something as powerful as the Qianquan was shattered, flabbergasting Pang Shu. Huawanyue's heaven rank, waning moon falling flower smoke layer. You think that this is able to contend against this young lady? Pang Shu sneered. Her eyes were even more penetrating. An innate skill known as finest detail, that was as its name suggested, that is allowing her to be able to fire at even the finest speck of dust with an outstanding degree of accuracy. Just as Pang Shu was preparing to activate her heaven rank again, this time, she was prepared to aim at Huawanyue's movements. How could Huawanyue let her do as she pleased? The hero star's body gracefully landed in front of her. Courting death. Pang Shu fired. An afterimage. Killing intent attacked from the surroundings, surprising Pang Shu. Huawanyue appeared beside her. Before she could react, another Huawanyue appeared from another angle, firing another 10,000 Li God-killing arrow. What is happening? Pang Shu was bewildered. All around her, Huawanyue's figure multiplied and appeared. Each one was a fake, but the 10,000 Li God-killing arrows they fired were nevertheless real and substantive. The Pang Shu who had used her heaven rank was debilitated, completely unable to defend. She looked at Huawanyue and was immediately overcome with grief and indignation. Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill. Please accept my and my lord's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow. Huawanyue's voice was gentle and cold, too young to have learned about sorrow. Several hundred 10,000 Li God-killing arrows brimming with fury surrounded Pang Shu from every single corner of space, sealing all routes of escape the girl had. Although her powerful True Phoenix realm helped Pang Shu resist greatly, death was merely a matter of time. The first arrow pierced into Pang Shu's body, followed by a second, then a third. Your Highness, save me. Pang Shu screamed in terror. A white light flashed on her body. Pang Shu suddenly vanished. Huawanyue ceased her Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill, her beautiful hawk-like eyes coldly gazing into the quiet world of the bamboo forest. Gong Sun Sheng HM. If I cannot toy with your master, then toying with her disciple will be very good. Bao Nyang'er was currently facing Jiang Sun Huang continuously in star magic. The lowly's magic energy was limitless, wind, fire, and thunder continuously bursting out from her pine-brand ancient sword. Occasionally, she would strike with a hurricane, occasionally with raging flames that scorched heaven, occasionally with rolling thunder. The contest of a magic energy star general was in magic energy. Seeing Gong Sun Huang's magic energy was inexhaustible, Bao Nyang'er was somewhat afraid. No longer bothering about the pride of a magic energy star general, she used her Earth-rank star magic. Comet tail evaporates ocean. Flaming meteors filled the skies and fell. Gongsun Huang's expression was still refined, still indifferent. Before the meteors fell, a resplendent starlight suddenly flew out, rolling those comets together, surprisingly counterattacking. The stars have moved. Wu Xinjie giggled, holding her heaven-concealing star fan, and using her Earth rank to break Baonyang'er's Earth rank star magic. Baonyang'er did not expect the knowledge star to appear, which slightly astonished her. The next second, Wu Xinjie had already acted. Come witness the method that inevitably could comprehend the heaven star's heaven rank. Wu Xinjie pointed her fan. Countless bagua patterns appeared behind the girl. Then, the patterns became a mysterious array that locked Baonyang'er within. Heaven rank formation of the beginning. Baonyang'er urged on the white dragon spirit body on her skirt, dealing with the bagua patterns. Wu Xinjie proceeded to wave her hand. Bagua continued to appear in empty space. Little Huang. Gongsun Huang knowingly nodded, silently chanting, activating her pine brand ancient sword. As she chanted, the air surrounding Gongsun Huang seemed vanish in an instant. The world grew silent. With an indescribable aura of danger choking her, Baonyang'er felt a feeling of foreboding, similarly using her heaven rank. Countless evil spirit white dragon charged out from between her fingers. Baonyang'er's star weapon was somewhat strange, being 10 false fingernails, named Cold Night Spring Heart. The fingernails sparkled all at once, and the countless white dragons rushed out. Wu Xinjie immediately sensed that her own heaven rank formation of the beginning was already somewhat weakening. Finally, Gongsun Huang's heaven rank announced its completion. The world surrounding Baonyang'er abruptly dimmed. An ancient air of primordial chaos vigorously appeared, making people shudder in fear. Baonyang'er's eyes widened. A gigantic ancient divine dragon showed her head from that dark chaos. That pair of giant dragon eyes seemed able to suck in a person's soul. Its unapproachable dignity filled all things with a feeling of insignificance. Torch dragon. Baonyang'er was alarmed, fully unleashing her magic energy. Torch dragon extinguishing. Gongsun Huang pointed her finger. A dragon roar pierced through the 9 firmaments. The ancient flames it spewed plunged straight down upon Baonyang'er's head. Baonyang'er finally broke Wu Xinjie's heaven rank, but at this time, she was unable to escape. She could only withstand it. Countless white dragons tumbled over each other as they swarmed towards the torch dragon. Under the torch dragon's enormous might, those white dragon shadows of hers were as insignificant as tadpoles. Torch dragon extinguishing annihilated her dragon spirits. Enveloped by flames, Baonyang'er hastily defended using her star magic. As expected of Feng Mojia's strongest magic energy star general, she surprisingly blocked the torch dragon extinguishing smite with her own magic energy alone. Gongsun Huang leisurely proceeded to wave her pine brand ancient sword. The torch dragon's breath showed no signs of ending at all. Impossible. Baonyang'er was shocked. Her clothes were disintegrated under the torch dragon's flames, revealing her fair and graceful body. Every inch of skin over her body was full of allure, and was absolutely able to drive anyone mad. But the next moment, it was covered by the ruthless ancient dragon breath. The torch dragon ended its power that swept through primordial chaos, restoring the world to clarity. Gongsun Huang's forehead was drenched in perspiration. The lowly was incomparably exhausted. Little Huang, are you all right? Wu Xinjie looked at her, concerned. She is not dead. Gongsun Huang shook her head, shifting her gaze. In the verdant green bamboo forest, there was a quiet girl and a silent time and space never once disturbed. Looking at that girl, Wu Xinjie sighed, unclear whether from regret or helplessness. A bloodlight was cleaved open from Xian's shoulder. Then a second sword light similarly brought her another injury. Xian felt surprised to see the drunken woman standing in front of her, with slightly rosy cheeks and a gaze that was honestly charming to the bone. Cold-blooded as she was, even Xian could not help but feel a bit moved. Heaven Earth Dark Yellow Skill? Xian looked at the numerous wounds over her body and narrowed her eyes as she smiled. Wuxia's Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill Do Not Laugh laying drunk on battlefield could allow her attacks to become unfathomable. Even the powerful Xian could not defend against her completely, finally suffering a few blows. However, with her formidable realm and excellent innate skill, Xian still held an absolute advantage. This general truly do not have the heart to kill a beauty like you. What a pity, what a pity. Wuxia's footwork slightly swayed, confusing watchful eyes. This general has already seen through you. Xian lifted her sword. Phoenix Splitter let out a shrill cry, yellow rank, broken destiny. The sword's tip tracked Wuxia's figure. Bloodlight nipped at the pilgrim, about to devour her, but a silhouette intercepted it. With a clang, broken destiny was stopped. Xian's tone was ice cold. Su Xing smiled, standing in front of Wuxia. The blaze refining 9 Hell's saber in his hand unleashed yellow technique, 9 consecutive hellfire demonic slash. 9 earthly fires exploded in succession, but they posed no threat at all to Xian, merely somewhat dirtying her face. Wifey, let's go. Su Xing pulled the already gradually sobering Wuxia back, fleeing. Are you humiliating this general? Xian's gaze was cold. Xian, now there is only you alone. Wu Xinjie coldly shouted. Li Shishir, Hua Wanyue, Hunyangzi, and the others surrounded Xian one after another. The 3 other marshals of the Xianliang Shuda were already defeated. Then simply attack as you like. Xian slightly smiled, raising the Phoenix Splitter in her hand. A kind of indescribable feeling of danger sunk straight into their bones. A sense of danger filled everyone present, as if they were prey that had been targeted. An earth rank. Wu Xinjie was alarmed. Young master, be careful. Lin Yingmei shouted. The girl's figure swayed, wielding her cold spear. Everything visible in the world turned into ice and frost under Lin Yingmei's freezing spear. A blizzard filled the skies and fell, very quickly turning Maiden Mountain's surroundings into a silvery white world. Feng Mojia slowly opened her eyes, unclear whether she had been chilled awake by this ice-cold snow world. She was amazed and impressed as she looked at the chill the girl's spear released. Even the area of the 7 Worthies forest she was occupying was surprisingly covered in layers of frost, the bamboo grove frozen solid. How formidable! Feng Mojia exclaimed. Panther head Lin Yingmei. Heaven rank. Cold dream freezes 1,000 years. Liked it. 100 kilometers away from Maiden Mountain's 7 Worthies forest, on another peak adjacent to Maiden Mountain, Zhenyuan stared glumly at the path leading up, for it was being obstructed by an invisible force. Young Luoshui said. It appears the purple thunder monster's side is not done yet. Zhenyuan nodded, but he had never imagined the monster-slaying alliance would already be crushed. Now, no one else had the qualifications to stop him from becoming Overlord. No matter what, we will wait for them to exhaust themselves before entering the fray ourselves. Until the moment comes that we climb the mountain. I believe the purple thunder monster will not pursue us. Zhenyuan had already determined his idea to turn this crisis into his gain. To become the last 7 stars assembly. Perhaps he held no significance towards becoming Overlord, but in order to obtain a change, he could only place this minuscule hope that scaling the mountain would have variables. A biting cold suddenly descended. The temperature of the world sharply plunged. Ho Ruolin only felt a chill enter her bones, shrinking her little shoulders back against Zhenyuan's chest. Zhenyuan and Yang Luoshui were shocked and looked at one another. A layer of extreme cold rolled over, covering them in ice and frost. A heavy snowfall surprisingly descended. The season was clearly still spring, but in the blink of an eye, Maiden Mountain entered an ice-cold winter. Zhenyuan could distinctly sense that this abnormal change in the seasons came from some ice-cold star maiden's handiwork. Heaven rank. Young Luoshui was astonished. The white world made Zhenyuan's expression turn even more serious. Although he did not know what was happening at that other part of Maiden Mountain. To surprisingly make Panther Head Lin Chong use her heaven rank that was able to change the seasons, Zhenyuan's mind felt even more powerless and dejected. We must climb the mountain as quickly as possible. Fearing a change in the situation, Zhenyuan once again circulated his feeble star energy, rushing towards Maiden Mountain. Secure star young Luoshui silently turned her head back to watch her master act without integrity. That crazed manner was like an out-of-control beast. Even Ruolin, who was clutched against his chest, did not dare say a word. Young Luoshui sighed. When she originally signed a contract with Zhenyuan, she saw this man's nature was elegant and unyielding. Even while she was in her own heavenly prison, he still maintained absolute composure in the face of so much mockery. Now, it seemed that self-confidence was all established upon her own existence. When they became losers, was everyone unable to avoid becoming ridiculous clowns? Young Luoshui suddenly remembered that man who rescued her from inside the lethal array. Shaking her head, young Luoshui dispelled this shadow from her mind. Just as she was about to step forward and stop Zhenyuan from going out of control, she suddenly sensed danger at this moment. "Master, look out!" Young Luoshui shouted. Zhenyuan was startled. A black shadow abruptly appeared before him, chilling daggers directly aiming for his vitals. The enemy sneak attack was extremely quick, their concealment extremely deep. No one could have anticipated this. Big brother. Ruolin threw herself in the way, using her body as a shield. The daggers mercilessly blossomed against the girl's neck, directly killing her. The black shadow finally revealed itself shockingly to be Guardian Star Muduang. "To think you still have not died." Zhenyuan was resentful to the extreme. Back then at 3 Clarity's field, he had used the sect-protecting array to trap and attack Muduang, heavily injuring her. In the end, this assassin somehow plunged out of the array, escaping with her life. However, with injuries so serious, she could not possibly live for too long. He never imagined that not only would she live for even longer, she surprisingly was looking for payback. Targeted by such an assassin, Zhenyuan felt chills for the first time. Revenge for elder sister. Muduang continued her attack. An assassin that did not succeed at the first strike had lost their greatest advantage. Zhenyuan sneered. "Fine, killing you will restore a bit of my star energy." Blade light flowed quickly. Young Luoshui cut into Muduang with her sword. "Little sister, you should have run away back then." The secure star was not at all sorry that this earthly star little sister had overestimated herself. Zhenyuan malevolently smiled. "Kill her. To take an assassin like this would be a considerable gain." Just as young Luoshui was about to deliver the finishing blow, Muduang tottered blankly. Fearing she was about to use another trick, young Luoshui used Heavenly Prison to firmly trap her. The Zhenyuan who was pulling back in preparation to use a hand seal abruptly felt a chill on his back. A shining dagger stabbed through his spine, breaking out of his internal organs, spraying blood. His blood ran cold. Zhenyuan's smile ended spontaneously. He looked in disbelief at the dagger tips jutting out from his chest, then turned to look at the assassin who had been cut down by young Luoshui. Impossible. Out of the corner of his eye, Zhenyuan saw that very same assassin's cold pupils behind him. Shockingly, this was another Muduang. When Zhenyuan turned his head back, another Muduang was leaping at him from the front to take his life. The obsession Zhenyuan had for the star duels cooled along with gushing hot blood. He was unreconciled, in despair mournful. All his feelings of fear towards death were crammed into his body that was losing blood. Zhenyuan gazed at this dim-witted girl, feeling dread and remorse from the core of his being for the first time. But in the end, as a figure like Ruolin's appeared, all of his negative feelings vanished into thin air. This adorable girl had given Zhenyuan endless motivation and comfort. Muduang drew back her dagger. Zhenyuan fell to his knees, his eyes dim. "Well done." Zhenyuan let out inaudible praise, this time lowering his head forever. "Elder sister, I have surpassed you." The 3 Muduangs spoke at the same time, becoming one. This was third watch. "Master." Young Luoshui was heartbroken, turning around with the Frost Magnificent's shining moon glowing. Heaven rank Samsara 6 Paths Annihilation was activated. Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Gutong, Shiyuan, Tang Lianxin, and Zhang Yuqi were very nervous. The atmosphere near Maiden Mountain abruptly changed, plunging into a cold winter as far as the eye could see. surprisingly affecting even the Longevity Palace's surroundings. The girls very quickly sensed this was the work of Lin Yingmei. The Tangtang and Gutong's embrace could not help but hold her mother even tighter. Just who is Su Xing's enemy, to be powerful enough to make Sister Yingmei use her heaven rank? Zhenyuan watched 10,000 Li turn wintry under Lin Yingmei's attack, feeling deep worry. There is no point in us going either. We will only add to elder brother's burdens. Tang Lianxin wanted to help but was powerless. They turned quiet. For them, dying would not really matter, but the crucial point was that falling into Su Xing's star nest would influence him negatively. At the current stage, there was nothing they could do aside from waiting inside the Longevity Palace. Young Su has so many elder sisters helping him, there is no need to worry. Zhang Feiyu said. But it's probably better to make the Longevity Palace head over. Gutong nodded. Mama. At this moment, Tangtang tugged the hem of Gutong's clothes. The little loli pointed behind them. Everyone looked. A ray of golden light was rapidly closing. Long blizzard nights. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. Ice heart seals sun and moon. Cold dream freezes 1,000 years. Wu Xinjia muttered, smiling in spite of herself. Lin Yingmei's heaven, earth, dark, yellow techniques were honestly interesting, but she wondered whether or not they could defeat Xian. The blizzard finally ended. The world that entered her eyes was already completely white, an endless expanse of snow. Lin Yingmei retracted her spear. Xian was still standing, the phoenix splitter sword's bloodlight glowing, emitting a frightening dignity. Her clothes and armor were cracked, cutting a somewhat sorry figure. This woman is so strong. Wuxia panted. After using her heaven-earth dark yellow, the pilgrim was already unable to continue battle, but she suddenly felt powerless looking at Xian. Even her do not laugh laying drunk on battlefield, and Lin Yingmei's 7-star heaven rank were unexpectedly still unable to defeat her. I fear her innate skill is hindering you all, and that star weapon is also very dangerous. Su Xing shook his head. Wu Xio frowned, frustration written on her face. Rest for now, she ought to be almost at her limit. Leave this to me. Su Xing patted Wu Xio. Wu Xio nodded and was supported to a safe distance by Xiyu. Xian's robes were already torn. The woman wiped away the blood at the corner of her mouth, slowly opening her eyes. Now you can all go die. Xian raised the phoenix splitter, bursting with a murderous aura. Your servant shall accompany you. Lin Yingmei raised her spear, about to launch an assault again. Cold light slashed, and a young woman stood between them. Following a wave of her hand, she repelled Lin Yingmei, and then her hand pointed to freeze Xian on the spot. Wu Xinjia and the others turned pale with fright, thinking this woman had finally taken action. Even the Chao guys spectating from far away felt her chest tighten. Fortunately, Feng Mojia had no interest in battle. She slowly said, Enough, stop this. The slaughter star suppressed her killing intent, raising her brows. Your Highness. No more fighting, just let Su Xing climb the mountain. Having seen Xian open a massacre, Feng Mojia once again lost any intent to fight, feeling only dry tedium. Su Xing, Mojia believes in you. Please forgive Xian for refusing this order. Xian interrupted Feng Mojia. Xian. Feng Mojia wrinkled her brow. Your Highness, please kill Xian. Otherwise, Xian will kill this man for sure. Xian's words left no room for retreat. Must you actually be like this? Perhaps the one who dies will be you. Wuda, Shuer, and Yanger have all already been defeated. Feng Mojia shook her head. Xian smiled. Your Highness, did you not say that he can end the star duels on your behalf? Then how about this? If he kills your servant, then that demonstrates he indeed has these qualifications. But if he is unable to even surpass your servant, this general will not acknowledge that this man has any capabilities to satisfy your Highness' wish. Are you serious? Feng Mojia softly said. Ever since your servant has followed your Highness, this is the most serious Xian has been. Xian completely opened her eyes, without the contempt she had before. Feng Mojia's killing intent vanished formlessly. The girl looked at Su Xing, her blue eyes carrying a bit of melancholy. Su Xing stepped forth saying, That's perfect. Let's see who's stronger. I'll have to ask those sisters of my wives if I'm unable to kill Xian. Just you. Xian sneered disdainfully. Top-notch star maidens were no match for her, let alone an insignificant star master. This was truly too ridiculous. Su Xing, do you truly not need your humble servant to take action? Wu Konghou slightly grinned. Senior Konghou, you came. Chai Ling was delighted. Looking at the galaxy-like 9-star noble frost demonic lotus swords in Wu Konghou's hands, Su Xing was somewhat dazzled. Sure enough, she was the 8th Overlord. This is the grudge between her and me and my wives. No need to trouble Senior. Su Xing bowed respectfully. As expected of the man that caught your humble servant's eye. Very good, very good. Wu Konghou said in satisfaction. Arrogance. Soon this general shall kill you as well. Xian said matter-of-factly. Fangmojia shut her eyes, floating into the air. A white light glowed, and behind her, the figure of a Xuannu of 9th heaven manifested. The girl herself was like this Xuannu. Everyone was speechless. Then fine. Major, if you and your allies can get past Xian, then I, Fangmojia, shall acknowledge that you are able to change the situation of the star duels. Many thanks to your highness for your understanding. Xian knelt on the ground. Fangmojia looked at Xian and sighed. Look out for yourself, Xian. The girl shook her head, vanishing from the center of them. Wu Konghou's lips curled into a grin. To be able to receive her highness' admiration is your good fortune. However, this general will not permit any man to sully her majesty's eyes. Xian rose, raising her blade. Her gaze floated over Lin Yingmei, Su Xing, Wuxia, Hunyangzi, and the rest one by one. This general's phoenix splitter has felled countless true phoenix star generals. Killing you all will require only one attack. The phoenix splitter was held aloft. Xian's killing intent vanished without a trace. An earth rank? One attack is unavoidably too arrogant. Su Xing readied his full power, secretly seizing the Liangshan seal and 5 dragons lantern. The smiling killing immortal's super kill is indeed so. An indifferent voice entered everyone's ears. Su Xing looked to see fluttering white clothes and a slender figure. A woman holding an extremely long tachi leisurely walked over. Yusuji Muzu. Yusuji Muzu. What did you come here for? I don't need you to do anything. This grudge is between me and her. Su Xing said in a low voice. The woman's eyes were apathetic. Muzu is merely giving you a bit of an innate skill for self-preservation. Against Xian, Muzu has no plans at all to take action. Su Xing was taken aback. The woman waved her sword. All of a sudden, everyone felt their realms immediately increase. Muzu's realm commander can allow the star generals in her surroundings to increase their realm. This is the most we can do. This Xian is considerably fearsome. Koido said. Seeing them so serious, everyone felt like they were facing a great menace. Xian's super kill can instantly slay the targets in her surroundings. You had best keep your distance. Li Shishir promptly warned. Go. Su Xing did not hesitate, tossing the Liangshan seal. The 10,000 calamities chains wrapped around Xian's surroundings. All space around Xian was incomparably quiet. The previously terrifying killing intent seemed to be an illusion, but Su Xing understood this was merely the calm before the storm. Su Xing used full power to control the Liangshan seal. It became a mountain 10,000 qi in size, seemingly smashing even Maiden Mountain as it hurtled towards Xian. We will have to be a bit more careful. Zhao Hanyan Gong Kaiwei, and Xiyu also brought out several self-protection magic weapons. Xian suddenly roared. Then came the storm, finally. There was a rumbling boom. The layers of 10,000 calamities chains were surprisingly disintegrated. The chains that had been forged and tempered with heavenly calamities were unexpectedly unable to last against Xian's murderous aura. This shocked Su Xing. Die, all of you. Xian swung her sword. This is bad. Without any warning, Su Xing, Chailing, Lin Yingmei, Wuxia, Hunyangzi, Hua Wanyue, Wu Xinjie, Li Shishir, Yusuji Muzu and the others were abruptly met with the attack from Xian's phoenix splitter. Everyone had clearly spread out already, but Xian surprisingly enveloped them all within her attack range in a single instant. Her speed was at the peak of swiftness. Even the chaotic tail escape would be eating her dust. Bloodlight and sword chi blossomed on everyone's bodies. Without any room for openings or thinking. An attack without any suspense. The first wave of swordlight arrived very suddenly. Everyone's defenses crumbled, and swordlight blasted them in the chest, staining the ground with blood. When the second wave of swordlight came, Su Xing felt an unprecedented danger. When the blade light pierced his chest, he controlled Purple Cloud East approaches and dragged the Liangshan seal down. This enormous Liangshan seal finally brought heavy pressure that made Xian's earth rank become less unbearable. A heaven-shaking noise. The Phoenix Splitter's swordlight cleaved the Liangshan seal apart. This supreme-grade magic weapon that could shake Liangshan continent thus broke apart like this. I underestimated you. Liangshan split apart. Xian appeared in the middle, giant fragments of rock falling all around her. She swept her gaze over everyone. This man's magic energy was stronger than she had imagined, to surprisingly have injured her, using a magic weapon to inhibit her strongest attack. Looking at the blood dripping off the Phoenix Splitter's sword tip, Xian's expression was even more gloomy. Lin Yingmei, Hua Wanyue, Hu Nyangzi and the others had been slashed. They were all on their knees, their bodies covered in blood. Even Yusuji Muse's incomparably white clothes were stained red. The girl herself also stuck her sword into the ground, having fallen to a knee. They were practically all defeated. This was Xian's Earth rank. Super kill. Only an Earth rank. This will be dangerous. Wu Konghou saw that she herself had been struck. She used her hand to trace the wound, licking the blood off her fingers. Liked it. Across all of Star World, Xian was in existence those lower than Emperor Star were unable to defeat. Each time a martial four-star general as strong as her used a heaven, earth, dark, or yellow technique, she would be more exhausted compared to a normal star general. Right now, Xian was finally forced to use her earth rank. To the Slaughter Star, this was undoubtedly something very humiliating. But compared to using super kill, what made Xian feel even more humiliated was that her earth rank surprisingly did not kill a single person. Not a single star general died? Although it could be said that man used a magic weapon to suppress her, she was unable to accept that surprisingly not even one star general died. Even if those star generals were all heavily wounded. Not only her, even Li Shishir felt very shocked. In the Star World battles, whenever Xian used her earth rank, extremely few star generals could escape with their lives. But before her eyes were these true spirit star generals that, in spite of everything, tenaciously stood up, including the incapacitated Wuxia. We sisters do not want to add to young lord's burdens. To have us starfall, just your earth rank is not enough. Wu Xinjie panted, showing a tenacious smile. A startled glint flashed past Xian's eyes, but very quickly, it was replaced by endless resentment. You all are merely prolonging your deaths for the time being. It's time that I be your opponent. Su Xing's right hand held the 7 colors goose feather saber. Behind him, the 5 elements flying sword spread like a peacock's tail. Star Master. The thing Xian disdained the most in her life were Star Masters. The men of Star World are all trash. What can you do? Let this general see just what qualifications you have to make Her Highness admire you. The last 2 words practically hissed out from between her clenched teeth. When she finished speaking, Xian's figure vanished. Blood-covered saber light suddenly flashed. After using her earth rank, Xian already was no longer at peak status. To think of instantly killing Su Xing was already a fantasy. The 5 elements flying swords became 5 sword rainbows, endlessly attacking. Xian's Phoenix Splitter swept forth, easily repelling these 5 elements flying swords. She leapt, sword light descending like a meteor. Su Xing's meditative mind lotus flower was toppled by the sword light. A ray of Purple Cloud East approaches attacked, but was unable to deplete Xian's terrifying ray of blood. Killing intent pushed him directly, but Su Xing was unmoved. Using the chaotic tail escape, he hastily pulled back. Then Su Xing released the 10,000-year Gu Demon's Ghost Cavalry King. The Ghost Cavalry King howled when he was released, an evil wind blowing, wicked sounds ringing. The disgusting and malevolent demon directly pounced on Xian, the ghost's god's bane in his hand exploding with formidable power. What Star World's strongest? Watch this king devour you. The ghost cavalry king slashed with all his might. A black ghost mist practically devouring a large expanse of space. Xian completely did not anticipate that Su Xing would surprisingly still hide such a thing. Therefore she swung her sword. A completely red swordlight completely shredded the ghost mist. The ghost cavalry king was startled, raising his sword to defend. Thus, the phoenix splitter's slash carried a true phoenix as it cut apart his body. The ghost cavalry king that was reputed to be immortal was suddenly vaporized by the true phoenix of Xian's terrifying realm and might. No! After a miserable scream, the insufferably arrogant ghost cavalry king's soul was scattered to the wind. Su Xing actually was not surprised. With Xian's powerful martial force, the ghost cavalry king could only act as cannon fodder. A perfectly qualified piece of cannon fodder. Nyangzi, Su Xing shouted. Bright star who Nyangzi understood tacitly. No one can save you. The Xian full of murderous intent appeared in front of Su Xing without wasting a breath, slicing at his neck with her sword. This time, Su Xing was completely unable to evade. But Su Xing had no thoughts of escaping at all. He turned over his left hand, revealing a Qilin dagger as he stepped forwards instead of shrinking back. It was too late for Xian to think. She only wanted to end Su Xing's life with this slash, to conclude this star duel. But a bright green light appeared on Su Xing's body. When the phoenix splitter cut against Su Xing's neck, it was unable to behead this man. On the contrary, the blade's edge was unexpectedly unable to cut an inch further past the protective light. What is the meaning of this? Xian was shocked. While Xian was unable to lop Su Xing's head off, Su Xing ruthlessly stepped forward. The Qilin dagger then sunk into Xian's left breast. Although Xian was already protecting herself with her powerful realm, this dagger surprisingly ignored her defenses. The blade's tip stabbed into her body, and Xian immediately sensed she had been poisoned. You! Xian seethed in anger, finally repelling Su Xing with a slash. When autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew. From far away, Hunyangzi used her heaven-earth dark yellow. Her golden wind and jade dew sabers danced, large swathes of saber light falling onto Xian. Su Xing retreated 100 paces, the light of jade dew very quickly dimming from his body. He stared at the Xian enveloped by saber light. His forehead was drenched in cold sweat, but he did not pay any mind to the frightening woods he sustained on his body. Just now, he and Hunyangzi used their heaven-earth dark yellow when autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew in an all-or-nothing gamble. The result was actually very successful. Relying on the unrivaled jade dew halo, Su Xing stabbed Xian's chest with Qilin destruction. Hunyangzi's saber light then very smoothly and successfully struck home. The saber lights of golden wind and jade dew became dust, slowly dissipating. Xian remained standing, her left arm dribbling blood, the clothes on her body shredded, her armor spiderwebbed by cracks. The woman's eyes were round and wide. She pulled out the dagger lodged in her chest. Qilin destruction was refined from poison that could kill even a Qilin, but to the Xian who could easily slay a Qilin, she was far, far more poisonous than Qilin destruction. However, the powerful poison still instantly seeped into each meridian in the woman's body, making Xian's consciousness somewhat muddled. The damage was not minor. An infuriated Xian squeezed the Qilin dagger to pieces. She coldly glared at Su Xing. To think that she would be forced into this state by this man. This was honestly too unbelievable. I will absolutely kill him, even if I must take him with me. This was the first time Xian had such thoughts in her life. Konghou watched in astonishment at Su Xing and Xian's exchange of blows, feeling shock at every move and gesture of this man. He was too powerful to surprisingly injure Xian. It appeared she did not need to worry about him. Although Xian was very strong, what Konghou was more concerned about was that so-called Emperor Star Xuan New Realm Feng La's sister Konghou. Go help Su Xing, Chai Ling anxiously said. Konghou smiled. No need to worry, your man will win for sure. But that woman completely lacks any openings. Ling's Xing had died to superkill, leaving her heart very miserable. Did you forget? That man still has you, Linger. Konghou shook her head. This palace, Ling hesitated. In short, if he truly wants to end the star duels, then he must defeat Xian. Konghou's gaze was placed on Fangmojia. So just allow your humble servant to first meet this Xian's master. Saying this, Konghou vanished from where she stood. In an instant, she already reappeared above Fangmojia. Falling dragon boundless. Konghou's hands slashed at Fangmojia, an invisible suction force able to subdue any divine beast in the world. Fangmojia raised a finger. With just a single finger, she unexpectedly completely stopped Konghou's claw attack. Mojia does not wish to fight. Fangmojia indifferently spoke. She pushed through space with her palm, shaking Konghou back. She really does not place your humble servant in her eyes. Konghou looked at her numb palms, restraining the trembling in her hands. She showed a desire to fight Fangmojia. Is this it? Konghou leapt forth, her swords in her hands, slashing at Fangmojia. Her two swords became a dual-mode sword array, trapping Fangmojia at the center. Then this space departed from the world as powerful sword chi attacked. Konghou finally used her heaven rank. Heavenly Law dual-mode sword. You should not disturb Mojia. A radiant light flashed in Fangmojia's eyes. A Xuannu of ninth heaven true spirit appeared behind her. A dazzling white light expanded and easily devoured Konghou's Heavenly Law dual-mode sword. Then, the white light rolled, with Fangmojia and Konghou vanishing from this place. While everyone focused their attention on Su Xing and Xian's intense war, Xian Lao manifested her body from the frozen soil. The stone-faced woman was expressionless. Finally, she turned her gaze towards leader star Song Qingci. Taking revenge for the sake of Li Taisui was the woman's sole obsession, and destroying Su Xing's star duel was included in this. Before everything happened, Xian Lao had been listening closely. She knew that Song Qingci was leader star Songjiang, and she also knew that the Purple Thunder monster was currently doing everything in his power to protect this woman. Xian Lao's mind immediately raised killing intent. She revealed herself and attacked Song Qingci. Look out! Dong Junqing immediately noticed her presence. But Xian Lao relied on the terrain's advantage to move at extreme speeds. Her hand pointed, first striking Song Qingci with Dream of Golden Millet. The leader star completely lacked any defensive measures, and immediately sunk into unconsciousness. Then Xian Lao turned her hand into a blade. Zhao Hanyan was completely unable to stop her. Dong Junqing shouted, using the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow she possessed with Zhao Hanyan. No pledge Dragon Phoenix life pledge term. The killing intent of the double spears biting into Xian Lao. Following an enormous ripping sound, the frozen earth jolted. Xian Lao unexpectedly did not die, and the woman already revealed her true body. The skin over her entire body was like yellow Vajra stone, impenetrable. Vajra amber? Upon seeing Xian Lao's true body, Zhao Hanyan was shocked. The body of Vajra amber possessed extremely formidable defensive capability. It was practically comparable to Black Turtle Divine Iron. And this kind of demon spirit appeared to be even stronger. Xian Lao was already in front of Song Qingci. The sole person who could stop Xian Lao, Su Xing, was currently locked in battle with Xian, and unable to intervene. The others were even less able to obstruct Xian Lao. Xian Yunshang was even prepared to use her body as a shield to buy time. Just as Song Qingci was about to die, Su Xing's hopes of ending the star duels would fail at the final stretch. Just at this critical moment, several rays of Qilin golden light descended from the heavens and struck Xian Lao's body. This Qilin golden light's might was powerful. Even Xian Lao's whole body was shaken stiff. The Vajra Amber's body split apart with cracks. Revenge for Taisui. Xian Lao's true body Vajra Amber had been transformed by Taisui's Cloud Dream spiritual power, so she treated Li Taisui as her own father. Her strong obsession made Xian Lao rush out from the Qilin's shackles. A shout suddenly came from the horizon. A bolt of golden light swift as lightning. A resplendent lance immediately pierced Xian Lao and terminated the woman in one single movement. This golden light was like a giant Qilin keeping Xian Lao in its grasp. Xian Lao was too late to struggle free when she was easily slain by the Qilin. The general of heavenly vision star fell. And then the golden light pivoted to attack Xian. That is, Zhao Hanyan and the others were shocked. Who else can help you? Xian's sword once again repelled Su Xing. Her sword light was like blood, crossing the world unhindered. Even while injured, Xian's killing intent instead only grew stronger and stronger due to her fury. All of a sudden, a Qilin cried out. Several Qilin lights descended from the sky. Xian smashed apart these flashes with a backhand swipe of her sword. She leapt into the air, her brow wrinkling. There is still shower. Like a god. A girl dressed in golden silk clothes and magnificent colors appeared before Xian. Her eyes were like that Qilin's, incomparably dignified. The surrounding snowflakes danced, sprinkled by her golden light. They were like tens of thousands of stars, glittering splendidly. The strongest martial general. The strength star. The Qilin took the stage. Strength star Jade Qilin Lu Zhao's hand gripped the 7-star golden Qilin lance. She mounted her heavenly river dragon horse, matchlessly dignified. Because Song Qingci gave her 5 former volume heavenly books to refine, she was delayed for a very long time. Sensing a large-scale starfall at Maiden Mountain, she rushed over without pause before she even had a chance to refine the 6th. Fortunately, she was here in the nick of time, otherwise, Song Qingci would have already died to Xian Lao's hand. Jade Qilin glanced at Song Qingci and Xianyunshang, slightly sighing. This woman is our sister's greatest enemy? Lu Xiao asked Su Xing. I'm a man, she assures Xian. Su Xing directly threw the birth treasure outline to Lu Xiao. Seeing the golden characters upon it, Lu Xiao's brows rose. She felt considerably astounded. Sisters, leave your husband to shower. Lu Xiao looked around at the already heavily injured Lin Yingmei and others. Let's go together, Su Xing said. Lu Xiao grinned. Then you cannot drag shower down, husband. The Lu Xiao who had refined 5 heavenly books brought the golden Qilin lance to 7-star. And her realm had reached a true phoenix 7th stage comparable to Lin Yingmei. But the only regret was that the strength star's heaven rank had yet to be comprehended. You can all die together for love. Xian's wrist quivered, and a sword light burst forth. The heavenly river dragon horse spat a ray of light to block this attack. Afterwards, the surrounding snowflakes were completely scattered. The heavenly river dragon horse galloped forth. Relying on her star beast's strength, Lu Zhao's lance stabbed directly at Xian. Su Xing also stepped forth, activating an escape technique, dual-wielding the 7 colors goose feather and dragon sparrow Dulong sabers to attack Xian. Xian closed the distance, sweeping Phoenix Splitter horizontally. Not only was the pervasive killing intent eliminated, the entire frozen ground was split apart by the sword qi. Although she was already very injured, Xian still possessed powerful qualifications to be arrogant before Lu Xiao. Even a faster figure would not be able to evade such a tidal offensive. Xian's sword was completely without any bit of room to be wielded. Lu Xiao's attack was only an instant, but when her defensive stance was shredded to pieces by Xian's phoenix restraint, that was also something that transpired in an instant. Wounds very quickly appeared over Lu Xiao's body, and a chilling, bloody swordlight suddenly arrived. The heavenly river dragon horse did its utmost to use its powers, but it was unable to hinder the phoenix splitter's might. Lu Xiao grit her teeth, quickly leaping away. Xian's attack killed the heavenly river dragon horse. When her next attack was prepared to continue confronting the Lu Xiao who had lost the initiative, Su Xing's twin sabers already rushed over to stop her killing blow. So this is the phoenix restraint innate skill? Lu Xiao took a deep breath. Xian did not respond at all. She brooded over the fact that she was unable to easily kill Su Xing. Su Xing's double sabers handled her perfectly. Though Xian's innate skill was the strongest, it was nevertheless unable to hinder Su Xing. Thus, he was fighting her far more smoothly compared to Lu Xiao. However, in the end, Xian's realm was still existing at the pinnacle of true phoenix. 10,000 years of battle allowed her body to become completely honed. After several dozen bouts, Su Xing had even more wounds deep enough to show bone. Damn it. Xian's shoulder sustained a blow, halting her strike as she turned the blade back to repel Lu Xiao. Su Xing used Heavenly Wolf Moon Hell to injure Xian again. Against the coordinated teamwork of these two, Xian was very displeased. Husband Su Xing, can Shower make a teeny-tiny request of you? Seeing the two of them held the advantage, Lu Xiao asked slightly seriously. What? Is it possible to let Shower defeat Xian alone? Lu Xiao's dignity as the strongest martial general began to stir mischief. Seeing Yingmei and the others were all defeated by Xian, and that Xian currently had gone through a very harrowing battle, unable to even use her earth rank, Lu Xiao suddenly felt that defeating her with teamwork lacked any sense of victory. Of course, the most important point was that Lu Xiao had refined 5 heavenly books. Regardless of realm or star weapons, she was the strongest strength star in history. She did not want to have anyone meddle in the battles she wanted. If I don't agree, will you incapacitate me first so that I can't intervene? Su Xing said, how could I? Lu Xiao laughed, but her eyes betrayed her. Then don't you lose. Su Xing knew her temperament, retreating to the side. Otherwise I won't forgive you. Oh, your words truly make Shower excited. Lu Xiao nodded. Xian once again narrowed her eyes. This honestly was too interesting. She had experienced countless battles, and this battle was truly very interesting. Under circumstances of occupying the advantage, the two of them surprisingly no longer coordinated. She did not know whether to say if this man was spoiling that strength star too much, or the two of them were seeking their own deaths, Xian sneered. Without a doubt, they had chosen the latter. Her figure rose. Xian once again launched an offensive that reached the greatest heights. Lu Xiao tightly gripped her golden Qilin lance, advancing. In a world wrapped in silver and white, Xian's blood-colored figure and Lu Xiao's sparkling gold clashed with countless sparks. The frequency of their attack exchanges was astonishingly fast. On the vast expanse of white plains in everyone's eyes, they saw only shadows flitting back and forth in mutual clashes, swift to the extreme, with no way for anyone to interfere. Under the previous intense fighting, Xian did not occupy an absolute advantage at all against Lu Xiao. Young Lord. Wu Xinjie cast a worried glance. Xinjie fears that Lu Xiao will be unable to best her Shueishue's prophecy. Qilin blood shines red. How could Su Xing ever forget the start of that verse? Qilin blood shines red. But there was no other choice now. With Lu Xiao's prideful bearing, she would never allow him to interfere in the fight against Xian. He could only do everything he could to minimize danger to her. How is Qingci? Su Xing asked. Qingci was struck by Xian Lao's dream of golden millet. She is still unconscious. Su Xing instantly arrived beside Song Qingci. The girl's expression was in extreme pain, unclear what she was dreaming. Will anything else happen to her? Xianyunshang said. Su Xing did not hesitate to light the 5 dragons' lantern, suspending it above Song Qingci. 5 golden dragons vaguely manifested from the flame, shining Buddhist light. This supreme magic weapon of Buddhism could settle disturbed minds. The 5 dragons' lantern activated, and dream of golden millet gradually abated. Song Qingci's expression became peaceful. Su Xing urged his magic energy into the 5 dragons' lantern. A moment later, Song Qingci at last slowly woke up. She saw that she was laying against Su Xing's chest, as if she was still in a dream. Is it over? Not yet. Lu Xiao's here. You must protect yourself properly in order to end the star duels for your sisters. Su Xing was serious. Song Qingci quietly answered. Your servant was just dreaming of the star-fallen sisters. They hate your servant. Whatever thoughts you have, that's what you'll dream. If you think all of this is your fault and want to die to atone, then they will naturally hate you. They hate your cowardice and flight. But if you can think of ending the 1,000 years of star duels for the wish of your star-fallen sisters, I believe not a single one of Maiden Mountain's sisters would ever hate you. They will only help you. Su Xing's words made Song Qingci seem to comprehend something. The girl finally recovered her vigor, no longer staying in that passive gloom. Song Qingci saw Lu Xiao fight Xian. Is there anything your servant can do? You are the leader star, Maiden Mountain's eldest sister. Everything follows your will. No one else can help you. Su Xing shook his head. Elder sister Lu Xiao will not last much longer. Xian Yunshang said at this moment. Su Xing could also see Lu Xiao was beginning to falter. Regardless of realm or star weapon, Xian in the end still firmly inhibited the strength star. Perhaps if Lu Xiao had her heaven rank, then she would still have a chance at victory. Xian still has her heaven rank. This was what Su Xing was most worried about. Xian's earth, dark, and yellow techniques already made them suffer enough. As for her heaven rank, he was unable to imagine who else could withstand it. This was already no longer the time to ponder upon this. Su Xing handed Song Qingci to Xian Yunshang. He watched Lu Xiao gradually slow down. He needed to take action. Just at this moment, 100 li away from Maiden Mountain, a crimson star fell. From the direction, it appeared to be Zhenyuan's. This change surprised Su Xing, but immediately, another crimson star fell, but this time, it landed on Su Xing's body. It was as if this starfall's energy was completely deliberately presented to him. Doing, Su Xing's heart ached. Yeah! A mighty shout that shook the world interrupted Su Xing's thoughts. Lu Xiao and Xian's confrontation had finally proceeded to its last stage. The battered and bruised Jade Qilin somersaulted, leaping down from high up, her figure becoming an enormous Qilin filled all of empty space. Everyone looked up hopefully, for the golden Qilin lance was just like the sharp claws of a Qilin as it thrust towards Xian. The earth rank gathered all of Lu Xiao's power. Qilin descends the world. Xian held her claymore horizontally before her, stroking her left hand over the sword's edge. The woman's frightening killing intent became formless, turning the space around her eerily quiet and terrifying. This is bad, it's an earth rank. Su Xing's expression changed, using the chaotic tail escape without any hesitation. The gigantic golden Qilin seized Xian. No, it did not grab her at all. Xian's phoenix splitter blocked this unstoppable golden Qilin's claw. Lu Xiao made every effort to crush her, but the smile upon Xian's lips grew more and more savage. Devil and Qilin opposed one another. Finally, Lu Xiao slowly pressed on bit by bit. Die. Xian suddenly swung her sword. In a split second, in Lu Xiao's eyes, the world seemed to vanish. Countless bloodlights burst all over the girl's body like bolts of lightning, their bite devastating. The Qilin screamed in pain, her true phoenix realm destroyed. Xian once again used Earth rank super kill, but this super kill completely focused all of its killing intent onto a single target. Several hundred severe sword lights became innumerable arcs of light that sent Lu Xiao flying. If it was not for a star general's indestructible body, Lu Xiao would have already turned into dust under this sword light. Lu Xiao fell from the heavens, soaked in blood. Instantly, with Lu Xiao at the center, the 100 meters around her was stained red. The girl seemed to be in the middle of a sea of blood. Qilin's blood shines red. Xiao! Su Xing screamed. His chaotic tail escape arrived in front of Lu Xiao, deflecting Xian's incoming blow. Time to send you two off, Xian sneered. She prepared to cut both Su Xing and Lu Xiao down in one strike. At this moment, no one else present could stop her in time at all. A sword of water abruptly fell from the sky, forcing Xian back. Zhang Yuqi, Gu Tong, Zhenyuan, and Tang Lianxin descended from the sky, obstructing her. I will not let you hurt my man. Gu Tong shouted. She opened her mouth, and a sound lingering a millennium immediately burst from her throat, pounding Xian. Young Su, quickly sign a contract with Lu Xiao. Zhang Yuqi was very worried. Su Xing already held Lu Xiao. The girl's silhouette was already starting to fade. This was the sign of a starfall. No, Shower cannot sign a contract. If you truly are thinking of Shower, then do not. Lu Xiao was still maintaining her dignity as the last 1,000-year martial general. I have never forced anyone to follow me, but you will be the first and the last. Su Xing did not let her speak. He lowered his head and kissed Lu Xiao's lips. Although Lu Xiao was very resistant, her weak consciousness was completely unable to ward off Su Xing's intrusion in the slightest. Lu Xiao felt the first time in her life being held by a man and passionately kissed. Her lips were tyrannically seized, linked and sucked. An indescribable feeling filled her entire body and every meridian. She remembered that scene when she first met Su Xing back then at Cash Mountain. The first time she saw Lin Chang's man indeed felt even more unforgettable. She remembered bringing Wuxia to her second meeting with Su Xing. She remembered that scene when they showed up at Crystal Dragon Palace together. Remembering the dribs and drabs the two of them experienced. Although this man was known as the strongest Star Master, he did not show a trace of fear towards her, his strongest enemy. The time the two of them spent together was even more fond than some Star Masters and Star Generals. Lu Xiao's heart softened. She finally parted her teeth, allowing this man to dominate her everything. Mu Duang was at a loss, wandering through the frozen earth in a daze, every step leaving behind a bloody print. Luoshui has never respected any opponent. Guardian Star Little Restrain Muchan Mu Duang, you are the first. Farewell. Behind her, the figure of young Luoshui vanished following her words, only leaving behind her resplendent frost magnificence shining moon. Mu Duang staggered along. Her field of vision was becoming more and more blurry, and her consciousness was becoming increasingly weak. Elder sister, I have finally surpassed you. Mu Duang achieved her own wish, and thus had no more desires. From somewhere very far away came killing intent and a familiar feeling. Mu Duang wanted to walk over there and proudly tell that man, I did it. She imagined Su Xing's shock and awe. This made her somewhat conceited, but she was too tired. Mu Duang crouched down to rest. She looked at her fading body. She did not know why, but tears began to flow. She had clearly accomplished her wish, yet her heart was strangely somewhat regretful. Mu Duang sniffled. Why am I crying? The girl looked at the dripping pearls. She did not understand. Liked it. Purple and gold star crests flashed upon Su Xing and Lu Xiao's foreheads. A profound light wrapped around the two, and all of their injuries were fully recovered. Su Xing ended the deep kiss. He looked at the Lu Xiao who had lost herself due to her first kiss. You took advantage of shower. Lu Xiao's face was red, springing up from the ground. Jade Qilin glared at Su Xing, as if saying, if you want to sign a contract, just sign it. To use a kiss for the kiss contract is honestly too obscene. Su Xing smiled out of embarrassment. Due to the fact the contracts he signed with his other wives were practically all kiss contracts, the result was that he had naturally become accustomed. However, now was not the time to be worried about this. Gu Tong and the others were completely without any chance of victory against Xian, and were stuck in a dangerous place. Husband, can you help Xiao hold off Xian for a moment? Lu Xiao gazed at Xian. Although she already relied on the contract to resuscitate herself, Jade Qilin was much calmer and not like before, thinking of blindly settling a battle against Xian. With Xian's current powerful killing intent, she still had enough to spare facing against the peak Lu Xiao. What's your plan? Lu Xiao took out her last heavenly book that had yet to be refined. Xiao wants to continue refining this, to comprehend heaven rank against Xian, and then kill her before she can use her heaven rank. Signing a contract was just like getting married. Even the haughty Jade Qilin had a sense of responsibility. Su Xing was quite gratified and nodded. Husband, you must not die. Lu Xiao was still very worried. To make a Star Master battle against an enemy capable of slaying Star Generals, this had never occurred in the Star Duels. However, towards this man, Lu Xiao was still somewhat confident. I won't. We still haven't consummated. Su Xing laughed out loud. Lu Xiao's face reddened again. This time, she did not scold him, instead showing slight bashfulness. Sure, if husband can survive, Xiao shall oblige you. Then I cannot die. Su Xing turned around and launched an attack on Xian. Lu Xiao breathed deeply, putting all her power into refining the former heavenly book. She could already sense her heaven rank. The 4 Super Void Stage puppets that Zhenyuan summoned were slain by Xian with only a few strokes of her sword. Gu Tong, Tang Lianxin, and Zhang Yuqi were unable to withstand her for too long, injuries appearing one after another over their bodies. Su Xing and Lu Zhao's contract transpired very quickly, but Xian had completely overpowered the girls. This man's women actually are very numerous, but they merely send themselves to die. Xian sneered, appeared in front of Zhang Yuqi in an instant, bringing her sword down. Zhang Yuqi shut her eyes and waited for death. All of a sudden, an upright figure obscured her view, bringing a boundless sense of safety. Clang! Xian's phoenix splitter was stopped. Young Su. Zhang Yuqi was astonished. Yuqi, you and the others retreat. Just leave this place to me. Su Xing was serious. Those not like a top-notch martial general basically could not last more than a few moves, and he did not want to see them injured. Zhao Yuqi and the other girls understood, leaving their battle range one after another. You have worked hard, little sisters. Wu Xinjie said to them. Is Su Xing facing her alone? Zhenyuan was anxious. Believe in big sister. Xian's expression was strange. She was increasingly unable to see through the man in front of her. She honestly could not understand how he could surprisingly step forth himself to die. What he should have done was have that restored Jade Qilin fight again. Was that not supposed to be the case? This kind of bewilderment made Xian become somewhat irritated. Her killing intent increasingly intense. A man like this posed a danger to Her Highness. It was imperative to destroy him here. Hey! Swordlight arrived in front of Su Xing in the blink of an eye, only to be stopped by the 7 colors goose feather saber. Xian disdainfully pushed down on her sword, the scraping between blades showering sparks everywhere, blinding to the eye. Several seconds passed, to the Su Xing who was engaged in combat. These seconds seemed as long as centuries. Su Xing's swordlight was abruptly destroyed. Xian once again launched an unstoppable assault. Wounds very quickly appeared on his body. Su Xing evaded, raising the dragon sparrow long saber in his left hand, activating earth rank, clothes full of flower fragrance. This earth rank did not bring a major effect at all. Xian relied on her formidable fighting talent to ward off this earth rank with more than enough room to spare. Following the end of the earth rank, the dragon long saber vanished from his left hand. Xian seized her chance, the tip of her sword swinging around. Purple cloud east approaches fired from Su Xing's left hand. Pervasive purple clouds wrapped around the blood-colored swordlight, but Xian roared and twisted her wrist to rip apart purple cloud east approaches. Su Xing promptly retreated. A dozen blows were exchanged in the blink of an eye. Su Xing and Xian's high-speed battle made the others feel stifled, unable to turn their gazes away. Xian did not dare believe that there would unexpectedly be a star master that could surprisingly resist against her for so long. Even if she was heavily injured, she was fully confident that confronting a star master was within her reach. The woman once again opened her eyes brimming with killing intent. She swung her sword. Broken destiny. A feeling of danger once again burst across Su Xing's whole body. Su Xing spat, forming instant frost flame into a silver ice arrow that shot towards the incoming bloodlight. The air temperature plunged, reaching the freezing point. With Xian's wrist frozen, the attack was unable to follow up on its timing. But even so, the previous swordlight still tore Su Xing up with major wounds. Su Xing's right hand gripped the 7 colors goose feather saber and slashed back. Xian brandished her sword, but at this moment, Su Xing abruptly used light smoke dance steps to evade Xian's sword. The girl spun around, but Su Xing was even faster. The 7 colors goose feather saber instantly released countless rays of saber chi. This saber chi wove into a net in midair, surprisingly trapping Xian in the middle. For the moment, Xian was caught off guard. By the time she realized it, Su Xing was already using the 7 colors goose feather saber's earth rank. Heavenly punishment, earthly destruction. The saber chi interwoven into a net wrapped around Xian's whole body, sweeping forth with blind cold light. The glaring saber light was dazzling, and the entire space was shredded by the saber light. Even a single glance was blinding. After using the earth rank, Su Xing felt even more exhausted as he fell to a knee. The heavenly punishment, earthly destruction ended. Xian's whole body was already tattered and ragged, but she was like an arrogant existence on the edge of a cliff that simply refused to fall down. She is impossible to defeat. This was the fear she brought to everyone. I will mince you to bits for sure. Xian held her claymore inverted, but the next moment, Su Xing was charging into her chest. Before the woman could realize what was happening, Frost Moon Ruinous Light was already stabbed into her body, stunning Xian. Su Xing's eyes concealed a trace of grief. These double daggers that Mu Duang transferred caught Xian off guard. Xian drew back, infuriated, preparing to behead Su Xing. Su Xing smirked. A golden figure rushed out from behind him, and directly repelled Xian. Xian retreated, digging her legs into the ground, steadying her sorry figure. Lu Xiao winked dazzlingly at Su Xing as she stood beside him. Husband, have a good rest. Leave the rest to shower. Remember that we need to consummate. Go. Lu Xiao spat, staring at Xian before instantly launching her assault. Humph. Xian was disdainful. Her whole body shuddered, gathering her strength. Lu Xiao first used a yellow technique, Qilin Fall Sky Flash. Xian waved her sword and easily broke this yellow technique. Yet Lu Xiao had already closed the distance. Her second attack, Dark Technique, Cavalry breaks apart 1,000 militaries, then followed up. Like a hot knife through butter, the golden Qilin lance wrapped in the power of 1,000 cavalry stabbed into Xian's chest, pushing the woman heavily back. But this was far from enough to kill Xian. Therefore, her third attack, Earth rank, Qilin descends into world, made use of everything to link to her dark rank. A giant Qilin descended from the heavens, and clashed with Xian once again. The Phoenix Splitter and Golden Qilin lance bit at one another. This time, Lu Xiao seized the advantage, forcing Xian down to a knee. The woman half bent her leg, brandishing swordlight as fast as lightning. Her powerful innate skill and the Phoenix Splitter warded off Lu Xiao. Lu Xiao's attack was not finished yet. In that instant she drew back. The Strength Star Jade Qilin, who had refined her 6th heavenly book, already broke into a crafty grin. Jade Qilin's heaven rank technique was used for the first time in 1,000 years. Ancient worries now end, snow across 10,000 li. This simple and unremarkable thrust stabbed through time, space and human definitions. Although Xian had prepared everything, she was still unable to defend and was stabbed. With this thrust, the worries of the world and the resentment of humanity all gathered in the lance and vanished. Xian stared blankly at the lance that had run through her body. Lu Xiao chained her 4 yellow, dark, earth, and heaven techniques together as simply as if she was painting, all in one go. In Xian Yunshang's words, Lu Xiao's attack methods became even more practiced after marriage. Maiden Mountain was silent. Everyone saw that Lu Xiao had stabbed through Xian. The Jade Qilin's formidable heaven rank erupted, breaking apart Xian's internal organs. The woman vomited blood and was sent flying. But as expected of Star World's strongest martial general, even with this, Xian still did not fall. How is this possible? Lu Xiao was unable to fathom how her heaven rank was still unable to kill Xian. This is bad. Su Xing shouted. All of you can go to hell. Xian was enraged. Her calm face contorted malevolently. The woman shouted, launching herself straight up into the 9 firmaments, very quickly vanishing from sight. Without letting Su Xing and the others taste even the fluke of a hint of victory, a powerful force abruptly assaulted them, shaking Liangshan continent in its entirety. What is happening? Everyone was startled. An unbelievable scene appeared before their eyes. Countless bloodlights erupted upwards from the ground, rising into the heavens. As far as the eye could see, bloodlights soared. There were millions upon millions. These bloodlights contained the blood and qi of all of Liangshan continent's cultivators. Now they were all absorbed by Xian. Mountains and rivers pavilion. Emperor Liang was in agony, propping himself up with a banister. Down below, millions of soldiers were collapsed on the ground in pain. The blood stripped from their bodies ascended directly into the heavenly sea of clouds. Although Emperor Liang used his magic energy to resist as much as he could, he was still unable to avoid having his blood taken bit by bit. This is... Emperor Liang was shocked. At the same time, millions of people across Liangshan continent in the East Sea, the Black Turtle Territory and White Tiger Territory were all experiencing this phenomenon at the same time. Millions of bloodlights gathered above Maiden Mountain, obscuring the crimson stars in the sky. Immediately, it became an unfathomable sea of blood. Su Xing's whole body shuddered uncontrollably. Even Lin Yingmei and the others became pale one by one. Heaven rank. Final blood grounds. Xian's heaven rank was used at last. Can it be we are still unable to avoid this fate in the end? Xian Yunshang toppled weakly onto the ground. Zhao Hanyan, Gong Kaiwei, Shiyu, and the other girls were at a loss of what to do. They did not know what the best course of action was. Hey! Lu Xiao attempted to charge into the sky, but before she could get close, she was repelled. At the same time, the Phoenix Restraint innate skill was active. No true Phoenix martial general could approach. Liked it. Make. Breakfast table. No one could have imagined that not only would Lu Zhao's heaven rank, ancient worries now end. Snowfalls across 10,000 li fail to kill Xian. It would instead make her use a heaven rank that was practically capable of destroying Liangshan continent. Xinger, use this certificate to protect your life. Chai Ling dutifully gave her red ink iron certificate to Su Xing. Although she did not know if it would be useful, the noble star could only make this gamble now. Everyone could sense the might of Xian's heaven rank. Without a doubt, after it formed, all life on Liangshan continent would be destroyed. It is over. Li Shishir was in despair. Songjiang, only you can face Xian. The splendid star abruptly recalled something, but leader star Song Qingci was completely blank. Use your justice on heaven's behalf. Uprising banner. A voice suddenly appeared. Chao Gai. Chao Gai's expression was grim. Xian's heaven rank will destroy Liangshan continent. Using the justice on heaven's behalf uprising banner, you can intrude into her heaven rank. Before she has finished absorbing the qi and blood of all life to form final red blood grounds, you can stop her. Me. Song Qingci said. You cannot go. Against final blood grounds, this is certain death. Chao Gai shook her head. Song Qingci was too weak. She completely had no way to break through the 9-layered bloody sky. Of course, the others were unable to as well, whether it be Lin Yingmei or Lu Xiao. The higher their realm, the less able the martial general was to approach. In the end, Thousand Buddha star Chao Wuhui's gaze fell on Su Xing. Su Xing, did you not once say that you wanted to end the star duels? So long as you kill Xian, this one believes you will achieve that for sure. However, to stop her heaven rank, this one fears. I was thinking only I'm able to go. I have to take her down with me, don't I? Su Xing's expression was very calm, placing life and death completely outside his consideration. But Lord Su Song Qingci was shocked. Su Xing shook his head. He took the girl's justice on heaven's behalf uprising banner and gently said, If I die, promise me that you will end the star duels for sure, achieve your sister's wish. Song Qingci was shaken. She lifted her tear-stained, beautiful face. Even Xian Yunshang stared at Su Xing in disbelief. If one was to say before they treated Su Xing's so-called end the star duels as merely a trick to entice their sisters, to hear Su Xing want to take Song Qingci's place in this charge against eternal damnation without any hesitation. This courage made Xian Yunshang feel stifled. Do you want to throw your life away? Young lord. Lord husband. Su Xing's wives were all in staunch opposition. Everyone wanted to take the place of Su Xing. You are only true spirits. Your true bodies are still inside Maiden Mountain. After you climb the mountain, Qingci, promise me that you will guarantee Yingmei and the others will be safe and sound. Su Xing sternly said. Song Qingci stared blankly at Su Xing. Promise me. Su Xing shouted. Song Qingci's tears spilled once again. The leader star did not dare look at him again. Allow me. Gong Kaiwei stepped forth. You cannot throw your life away. I will go. Zhao Hanyan and Shiyu also said. You should let a man take care of something like this. Su Xing smiled, unafraid of death. In the end he looked at all his wives, sweeping his gaze from Lin Yingmei over them one by one, over each girl. Even Lu Zhao's eyes were red and puffy. Finally he glanced deep into his mind, but Su Xing did not look for long. If he looked any longer, he was afraid he would never leave, unwilling to sacrifice his life. Therefore, Su Xing charged toward Xian's final blood grounds without the slightest hesitation. You must return. Xiao still has not shared a bed with you. Lu Xiao shouted with all her might from behind. All sound completely vanished. All of the girls had pained expressions. Chao Gai sighed heavily. Li Shishir was even moved. She never imagined that Su Xing would sacrifice himself to oblige Song Jiang. The splendid star's heart ached, and the phoenix flames dispersed, transforming her back into a maid whose crimson pupils leaked 2 streams of tears. This cannot be. Song Qingci looked at her heavenly star birth banner. Suddenly recalling Su Xing's words from before, the girl was immediately resolute. Borrowing the Justice on Heaven's Behalf banner, Su Xing entered the final blood grounds. That was a world of endless blood. Xian was even more out of reach than the 9 firmaments. The blood of Liangshan continent's countless creatures was sucked into the blood grounds, gathering around Xian. Su Xing cursed and flew towards her. It was like flying across several thousand li. Su Xing was already finding it difficult to advance an inch. The surrounding blood was viscous, and flight was already at its limit. Su Xing exercised his star energy at full power. Star crests flickered endlessly upon his forehead as he attempted to break through the sea of blood. The power of Xian's heaven rank was incomparably frightening. Su Xing felt his consciousness currently ebbing. Shit, if I keep on going like this, I'll die before I even get close to her. Su Xing strained to maintain his consciousness, flying little by little towards the 9 firmaments, but progress was becoming harder and harder. Suddenly, Su Xing caught sight of a golden brocaded woman. The figure of strength star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao appeared before him. The girl beamed widely, reaching her hand out and pulling Su Xing. Husband, Xiao is still waiting to share a bedroom with you. You have to come back alive. The girl waved her hand. Powerful energy entered Su Xing's body. His originally stagnating body immediately soared far upwards. At the same time the Jade Qilin star crest on his forehead faded, Su Xing's figure stopped. Then Yin Star Gutong's figure appeared behind him. Female tiger's roar let out an ear-splitting sound wave. Go my man. Tang Tang cannot be without you. The power of the sound wave launched Su Xing upwards. Rat Star Daylight Rat by Yutong waited with teary eyes as she pitifully gazed at her papa. The little loli grabbed Su Xing's finger with all her might. Su Xing understood her intentions, immediately entering the 9 firmaments blood grounds. The fourth to appear was Hero Star Little Li Guang Huawanue. The graceful woman's face wore a confident grin. She elegantly seized Su Xing, once again pushing Su Xing through the shackles of the sea of blood. Following Su Xing's figure with her eyes, the phantom of the graceful woman very quickly faded. I am waiting for you, my lord. Immediately following Huawanue's appearance was Harm Star Pilgrim Wuxia. Su Xing and the cool and elegant pilgrim stared at each other. Words were not needed between them. Wuxia's long black hair poured down like a torrent, and she sent Su Xing flying even higher. His 11th star General Damage Star White Stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi hugged Su Xing, flying upwards as she liked like a mermaid in the sea of blood. Although her figure was fleeting, Su Xing still could sense the warmth in the girl's heart. To have been able to know young Su Yuqi is truly fortunate. Xian grew closer and closer. At the same time the sea of blood was becoming clearer and clear. It brought even greater pressure. Su Xing entered something even more difficult. Gentle and beautiful. The misty and melancholic figure of a beautiful woman appeared in the sea of blood. An absolute beauty that would make a person practically forget this scene of blood. Bright star 10 feet of blue was gentle, speaking with tenderness. Wife is willing to share life and death with dear husband. The young woman used these feelings our endless lasso to wrap around Su Xing's arm, bringing him into the 5th layer of the 9 firmaments blood grounds. Solitary star Lu Shaking was the 8th to appear. The woman's face was calm and unmoved, but her expression was showing clear longing. The powerful Lu Shaking used all of her power to fling Su Xing into a higher sky. Then, the next to lend her power was solitary star Tang Lianxin. Powerful killing intent suddenly burst out of the bloodlight filling the sky, stopping Su Xing's progress, forcing him down. Skillful star Yan Yizhen and thief star Zhenyuan appeared on Su Xing's left and right at the same time. The girls dutifully used their powers at the same time. This young lady is but your third star general but hasn't done that with you yet, Su Xing. This young lady is very unreconciled. Zhenyuan's gloomy voice echoed inside his mind. Final Blood Ground's fourth layer of blood light manifested countless sword lights to skewer Su Xing. An exceedingly refined loli abruptly appeared and swept away this tidal wave of sword light. The girl gently pulled Su Xing's hand. Su Xing progressed to the third layer. Efficacious Star and Suan welcomed Su Xing into the third layer. When Su Xing was already unable to take another step, the star crest on his forehead glowed once again. Knowledge Star Wuxia was before him. Yingmei is waiting for you. Finally, a white light flashed in front of him. Ice and frost that was different from everything else appeared in the sea of blood. Majestic Star Panther Head Lin Yingmei looked at Su Xing. The girl hugged him and lowered her head into a deep kiss. Remembering their meeting back then on the clear wilderness highlands, it seemed like yesterday that the girl said those words. From this day forth, I, Panther Head Ling Chong, am your woman. Young master, Yingmei doesn't want these star duels. I only want you, young master. Lin Yingmei softly said. With a clear and distinct shout, the girl used all her strength to send Su Xing up the 9 firmaments. Xian was invulnerable. Under the help and resonance of his dozen wives, Su Xing finally broke through the last layer of the final blood grounds that no one could shake. But this was still not enough. The last sea of blood was like a giant dam, locked in front of Su Xing, giving him no way forward. All of a sudden, a green light blossomed upon Su Xing's chest. Zhao Hanyan's figure unexpectedly appeared at his side. Zhao Hanyan slightly smiled, and a green light emerged resplendent. This was the 1,000-year Pack's intertwined branch swords. The intertwined branch swords erupted with an unimaginable resonance, throwing open the Sea of Blood's gate. Finally, the Chai Ling who ingested the Together to Hell appeared. The queen used her lofty attitude to finally send Su Xing into open space. Boom! The endless Sea of Blood released an ancient air. Above the Sea of Blood, the Xian who slayed gods stood imposing before him. The girl's eyes were completely red. Through the 1,000 li of crimson blood, she was shocked to see Su Xing surprisingly break through her heaven ranks domain layer by layer. This was something even Her Highness would have found difficult to do. Even so, what can you do? I shall bury Liangshan continent with you. Xian viciously malevolently shouted. The Sea of Blood churned and gathered into her sword, released an intense crimson light, enshrouding all of Liangshan continent's 4 territories in terror. Su Xing raised the Justice on Heaven's Behalf uprising banner, prepared to end things in mutual destruction. But just at this moment, Song Qingci's figure strangely appeared. The girl waved the heavenly starbirth banner saying, Lord Su, please climb the mountain together with Qingci. The two of them became one. In an instant, Su Xing's mind shook. Su Xing attacked Xian barehanded. To unexpectedly think of facing her heaven rank without a weapon, that was to die without a grave. Xian sneered, prepared to strike, but at this moment, there was a sudden change. Light after light fell into the space around Su Xing. Each of these lights was unexpectedly a star weapon. Golden Immortal Linked Life Ring, Extreme Vast Blue Emperor Saber, 7 Colors Goose Feather Saber, Frost Moon Ruinous Light, Frost Magnificence Shining Moon Saber. Regardless of whether they were friend, foe, or even partner, the star weapons of all star maidens appeared around Su Xing. Lin Yingmei and the others were astonished to sense the power in their own star weapons. The girls glanced at each other. Without any hesitation, they released their star weapons. Arctic Star Serpent Spear, Golden Qilin Lance, Noble Frost Demonic Lotus, Golden Wind and Jade Dew, and more star weapons rose straight up, entering the sea of clouds and surrounding Su Xing. Not only them, but Xian Yunshang also felt her star weapon stir. The demons and monsters' bow and arrow were released without hesitation. Dong Junqing, Zhu Sha, and Zhang Feiyu's star weapons followed suit, as well as the star weapons Zhao Hanyan had obtained. Rainbows flew around Maiden Mountain, gathering continuously toward Su Xing. It seemed all the Star Maiden's star weapons had been summoned, stunning even Chao Gai. Su Xingxiang walked barefoot over the dunes, already nearing Maiden Mountain. A red light flew from behind her directly up to the Sea of Blood in the sky. Su Xingxiang did not understand what was happening, but she sensed that the star weapons in her astral bag from the defeated star maidens were all stirring. Su Xingxiang hesitated for a moment, as if sensing something. She pointed her hand. In the end, she released these star weapons. White Knight Dragon Carving Sword, Golden Hooked Soul-Snatching Lance, 100,000 Flame Dragon Axe, asking directions to the underworld stones, and others became different colored lights that flew into the 9 firmaments. This is... Xian stared wide-eyed, not daring to believe this. 108 star weapons appeared in Su Xing's surroundings. These star weapons then manifested their respective masters. Yang Zijin held the vast blue emperor saber. Guaning held the purple brilliant reclining moon blade. Shi Xiuxiu held the 7 colors goose feather saber. Lu Qing'er held the blaze refining 9 hells saber. And even Hound Star's golden immortal linked life ring manifested a cute girl to hold it. Whether they once battled Su Xing or inadvertently fell, or were even Su Xing's star generals. Although they were mere specters, each maiden the 108 star weapons manifested was shockingly vivid and lifelike. Romance of the world. Xian was stunned, her whole body shaking. Impossible, impossible! The woman shouted, immediately wielding heaven rank final blood grounds. Su Xing similarly waved his hand. Maiden Mountain's 108 star maidens became a heaven-overwhelming attack that met with Xian's heaven rank final blood grounds. Bloodlight and starlights clashed with each other, submerging the world, spreading through the 4 territories. All of Liangshan continent's creatures fell over one after another, only feeling overwhelmed, spitting blood. The bloodlight filling the skies finally faded. The world was clear. Xian stiffly gazed at Su Xing standing before her, not daring to believe that her heaven rank surprisingly failed at the last moment. Those 108 star maiden phantoms behind Su Xing were like an invincible army. Is this the existence that Empress has been searching for? Xian thought. Henceforth I leave her highness to you. Xian's eyes dimmed, and she became dust, leaving behind only that faded phoenix splitter that cried in clear morning. A kind of indescribable pain filled Su Xing's heart. Su Xing looked back at those 108 star maiden true spirits behind him, nodding to them. These girls slightly smiled, and their true spirits vanished, leaving behind their star weapons. Su Xing returned to Maiden Mountain. His wives were already waiting for him, breathing sighs of relief when they saw he was unhurt. Lin Yingmei embraced Su Xing, giving him a passionate kiss in front of everyone's eyes. Is everything over? Su Xing said. Song Qingci and Xian Yunshang walked over. Su Xing furrowed his brow. What's the matter? Chao Gai wanted to speak but hesitated. She sighed. Song Qingci is the uprising. The uprising and contracts cannot climb the mountain at the same time. What do you mean? Su Xing's gaze turned cold. His killing intent even began to chill Chao Gai. Then is there no need to climb the mountain? The star duels will be like this? Lin Yingmei asked. Of course, the girl already did not mind this. Then your servant shall leave the star duels to Lord Su. Lord Su cares far more about our sisters than Qingci has. Song Qingci smiled. In truth, so long as Qingci's uprising sisters all leave, the uprising can also dissolve. Chao Gai said. Everyone was taken aback. At present, the only sister in Song Qingci's uprising ugly prince consort Xian Yunshang let out a laugh. Yunshang said long ago that I should not have joined elder sister's uprising. This has become an impediment. I won't kill you. Su Xing shook his head. Now that things had reached this stage, Su Xing did not want to see any more grief, especially like this. There is no need to be distressed at all. So long as efficacious star divine physician comprehends heaven rank rise from the dead, even a true spirit can be resuscitated. Chao Gai advised. Stop talking. Su Xing interrupted her. Xian Yunshang laughed. Walking before Su Xing ugly prince consort's beautiful face was filled with a complex gaze. I feel this is not bad. To be frank, Yunshang should have followed the other sisters. Xian Yunshang. Do you still remember that Yunshang owes you a kiss from back at the Crystal Dragon Palace's banquet? How about this? If you climb the mountain and end the star duels, if Yunshang is still alive then, I will repay you. Xian Yunshang smiled. With things already at the present stage, can it be you would throw everything away because of an outsider like me? Are you worthy of those sisters then? Ugly prince consort shook her head to stop Su Xing from dissuading her. Yunsheng is a wisp of a dream. A flower tribute yet carefree. Awaken our sisterhood. May we gather in star world. Xian Yunsheng gazed at the sky, slowly reciting. Her figure very quickly faded, and her crimson star fell into Su Xing's body, leaving behind her demons and monsters. Everyone wept silently. Song Qingci's head hurt. Following Xian Yunsheng's star release, the uprising announced its defeat. Your servant apologizes to sisters. Song Qingci regretted her past deeds. Enough of this for now. Did Chao Gai not already say? As long as you climb the mountain, we can have Suan resurrect everyone. Wu Xinjie consoled her. Now would be best to sign a contract with young master Qingci. Lin Yingmei said. Su Xing walked over. Song Qingci closed her eyes. Su Xing lowered his head and kissed Song Qingci's lips. The girl's body shuddered. A moan broke out of her throat. A crimson star ignited in the sky. Is our husband a kiss demon? Lu Xiao asked the sisters. All of the girls blushed with shame. And now, the heavens currently had only 7 crimson stars in existence, just perfect for the 7 stars assembly. No, there was still one missing. Everyone turned their gazes to the last star maiden in the 9th star duels. Noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling watched by scorching, attentive gazes. Chai Ling's face was thoroughly red. The queen bashfully lowered her eyes. We weren't able to shock the world this time. But Linger, are you willing to be my wife? Su Xing tenderly asked. If this palace cannot be your first, then this palace shall be your last. Chai Ling said almost inaudibly. Everyone snickered. The two of them kissed. This was already not their first deep kiss, so they kissed considerably intensely. Right, this palace is now your last wife, right? Chai Ling shyly stared. Chai Ling, I fear your dream has come to nothing. Zhao Hanyan stifled a laugh. Just at this moment, a white light appeared in the sky. Fang Mojia and Wu Konghou appeared. Everyone seemed like they were about to face a great enemy. Fang Mojia looked at that phoenix splitter in Su Xing's hand, somewhat sad, but the girl still said, Major, please cherish her well. Mojia shall wait for you in Star World. And Su Xing cautiously responded. Fang Mojia looked at Su Xing's wives and smiled. The girl turned and entered Maiden Mountain. Your Highness Mojia, wait for us. We want to follow you. Muzu, we can finally go home. Taikoido ran over. Yusuji Muzu also departed. Thank you. Su Xing indicated his gratitude. Yusuji Muzu glanced out of the corner of her eyes. Her gaze beautiful yet cold. The woman nodded, her hair flowing like water as she entered Maiden Mountain. Never imagined you actually would kill Xian. Amazing. That Fang Mojia is truly formidable. Your humble servant was unable to best her no matter what I did. Wu Konghou showed a forthright smile. Linger, you finally got a man who wants you. Not bad, not bad. Sister Konghou. Chai Ling blushed. Suddenly, Chai Ling noticed the atmosphere was somewhat tense. She saw everyone had grave expressions. As the 8th Overlord, if your humble servant does not die, you cannot climb the mountain either. Wu Konghou shrugged. Senior. Chai Ling's expression changed. Qilan's blood shines red. White wave raises golden wind. Bright moon's inviting cup intoxicates a night. The broken arrow beauty plucks the Konghou. The sound is faint for a millennium. Without her, your lifetime is nothing but a dream of golden millet. Wu Konghou slightly smiled. Now this verse has only your humble servant left. Can it be you are unable to sign a contract? Chai Ling anxiously asked. The answer was naturally, impossible. The 8th Wu Song did not belong to the 9th star duels at all. A contract was naturally a delusion, and because of her existence, the others were unable to climb the mountain even during the 7 stars assembly. Broken arrow beauty plucks the Konghou. Then allow me. Hua Wanyue walked out, holding the red jade star splitting short spear. Good en garde. Wu Konghou smiled. Their body techniques flashed. Rushing over, Hua Wanyue's twin short spears were in hand. 2 sword lights stabbed, and Hua Wanyue deflected them both. The hero star moved with a wonderful pace, evading the 9-star Noble Frost demonic lotus attack. The woman gracefully thrust her short spear. A scene no one imagined then occurred. Konghou did not dodge or evade, allowing the spears to pierce into her body. Senior Konghou? Everybody was taken aback, not expecting that Konghou would give up. Your humble servant's wish has already been fulfilled. There is no reluctance to part. It is time for your humble servant to go see her. Konghou naturally referred to her life and death companion in the 8-star duel, Panther Headland Qingci, who nevertheless died at the very end. Now, Su Xing's growth and maturation had already reached a stage that even Konghou was left in his dust. In possession of the smiling killing immortal's phoenix splitter sword, Konghou believed this man could complete his own wish in Star World. Although it was a bit of a pity she could not personally go see Star World, but at the very least, she had witnessed a legend. Everyone harbored sublime respect for this predecessor. Konghou finally faded. Su Xing stood below Maiden Mountain, waiting for the 7 Stars Assembly. Zhao Hanyan, Shi Yu, and Gong Kaiwei were beside him. Long Nu very quickly awoke from the Bright Moon Longevity Palace and descended to the base of the mountain. A bit taken aback to see Su Shengxiang kept some distance between them. Her sinister methods using the 10,000 Souls Parasol made the group somewhat hostile towards her. However, in the end, she did lend a hand by releasing star weapons to help Su Xing accomplish the unprecedented romance of the world. They could only strategize about the rest of these things after they climbed the mountain. This princess wonders who the last one is. Zhao Hanyan looked at the last crimson star in the sky. Su Xing was lost in thought as he looked at the twin daggers frost moon ruinous light in his hands, very regretful and heartbroken. We will definitely meet again in Maiden Mountain. Yingmei held Su Xing's hand. We will definitely meet again. Su Xing resolutely said. Very quickly from far away, girl with flaming hair and eyes cautiously approached, very unwillingly arriving at the foot of the mountain. She was frightened to see Su Xing and the others. Upon seeing this girl, Su Xing could not help but break into a smile. She was none other than the girl he met back at the Vermilion Bird territory, Flame Princess Tuoba Yen. Rongxin, this is goodbye for us. Tuoba Yen sniffled. Whole star fiery-eyed swan-and-eye Deng Rongxin grabbed her enraged heavenly starfire hammer and said, You will have to kill me first. Zhao Hanyan blinked, feeling the pair was quite adorable. Their original contract had long lost its function, however, Su Xing had quite the favorable impression of her. Su Xing smiled. Tuoba Yen, let's climb the mountain together. How you know me? Tuoba Yen cast a bewildered look. You are that man? Deng Rongxin was slack-jawed. Su Xing smiled and turned around. Wives, are you ready? Su Xing asked them. Let's shock Star World. All of the girls smiled. Then everyone entered Maiden Mountain. Once they entered Maiden Mountain, a fog surrounded them from left and right. Su Xing felt his body become very light, ascending upwards directly. As he ascended, Su Xing caught sight of stars filling the heavens, seemingly within reach. Those bright, glittering stars unfolded into a Milky Way as gorgeous as a portrait. The images of all sorts of outstandingly beautiful young women ceaselessly stared at him. Some with overwhelming heroic spirit, some as mysterious as the ocean, some with gentleness like jade, and others with peerless gracefulness. The women of this originally fuzzy image now appeared with clarity. The one with overwhelming heroic spirit was Yingmei. The one as mysterious as the ocean was Wuxia. The one with gentleness like jade was Qingci. And the one with peerless gracefulness was Wuxia. Su Xing was overwhelmed, warmth filling his heart. It turned out when he had intruded into Liangshan continent, they had already formed a chain. The passageway to Star World had neither time nor length. Su Xing knew that the path ahead would still be very long and very arduous, however, Su Xing did not mind at all. He knew that there were still people waiting for him atop Maiden Mountain, waiting to meet him again. Epilogue. 100 years later, Emperor Liang watched the sky above the mountains and rivers pavilion, showing regretful expressions like the rest of the people living in Liangshan continent. However, he was nevertheless somewhat elated. His current cultivation had already reached transforming star of annihilation. It was not much longer before he could go to Star World and see Su Xing again. I wonder if daughter is well? Emperor Liang walked to a divination pavilion. A purple-haired girl was currently spellbound as she looked at the sky. Her fair posture was not lacking in a young woman's beauty. Her cultivation had also astonishingly reached transforming star of annihilation. The star duels did not manifest. It appears Su Xing actually did it. He has ended the star duels, haha. Emperor Liang smiled. The girl turned around, revealing a face that could destroy a nation. Shockingly, she was none other than Humi. Humi knew that he would achieve it. Humi toyed with her hair, faintly smiling. Her thoughts could not help but return to that star duel 100 years ago. At the end, a completely unexpected tear of Vega descended, annulling her contract, turning her into the first person since the 9th Star Duel's 7-star assembly to break free of the star duels. Jingshu, you must be waiting for me. Humi softly said. Ha ha, we are honestly very eager to see what kind of scene Su Xing is causing in Star World. Emperor Liang was very curious. Humi smiled. She also wanted to see him very much. She imagined that Su Xing crossed Star World unimpeded. It was said that Star World had millions of star names. Perhaps he has seduced a few innocent young ladies, or perhaps he has made that immature empress fume to the point of tears and tantrum, or perhaps he has conquered all of Star World. But no matter what, that was another story entirely. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you enthusiasts for all your support, and to all of you who left or asked for returns. Little Ice would like to express heartfelt apologies, especially to Xuemingxi, 843315536, for supporting me every day, every month with your millions of votes. I am so ashamed that I still disappointed you at the very end. Also, Magia, your 108-star Maidens materials is truly outstanding. Maiden Mountain lasted a very long time, and a lot of times, I relied on your materials to cut down on some time. There was one time that you were late that I thought Hao Bingxin did not have an Earth rank. The result was that I gave her a 2nd Earth rank. Ha ha, I look forward to your last material on 108-star Maidens. Lastly, I'll talk about some moment when Maiden Mountain left a very deep impression. I remember when I first started Maiden Mountain, I didn't really think too much, and only had a few simple settings. It was only later amidst your discussions that something more developed slowly formed. The most coincidental was Song Jiang. Originally, Song Jiang was planned to be the second to appear, as Song Lu. Later, she was suddenly changed to Wu Xinjia. Afterwards, Child of the Sea wrote a comment pertaining to Song Jiang. As a result, they facilitated Maiden Mountain's most important plot point about Song Jiang ending the star duels. There are more inspirations that I won't mention. In short, today's Maiden Mountain is because of you all. As for the ending, I feel it was really good. The main character has already defeated Star World's strongest enemy. And because this is a story about the star duels of Maiden Mountain's 108 star maidens, the star duels ending in this volume is also the conclusion. As for what happens up in Star World, I'll leave a little of that to your imagination. Perhaps later I will write a sequel dealing with Star World, using the main character to recount Su Xing's story in Star World. The Star World setting is quite interesting, but don't wait on that. Over the past 3 years, the up and down and on and off updates broke a lot of hearts. I was a step off in quality and frequency to send Maiden Mountain into this honorable hall of quality regulars. Regarding this, I express my regrets to the friends who spared no effort in their support. Over the past 3 years, the up and down state of affairs is still waiting for Little Ice to show gratitude to our newest friends. Thank you all for not leaving. Now you can finally breathe a long sigh of relief. I myself am not fond of speaking for too long. In short, I am very thankful for everyone who expressed their support, now or in the past. Thank you. See you again. Liked it? That you're tuning in to the Yingmei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.